I finally got the. I finally 3-starred the
certain people
150cc.
We got DK next week. To be fair.
Yeah,
Did
man.
you play
Next week,
Welcome
literally.
Tour already, T? You got a good exclusive there.
Yeah, what?
You play Welcome Tour already? You got a good exclusive
I
there.
ain't playing that bullshit.
So I got the stream on. It's got a blank screen. Damn it! What the hell's going on?
What?
Yeah, OBS
I
podcast.
see the same thing.
What the hell? I have it on
Literally,
podcast main.
Oh, I see. Like it's literally just darkness.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to delete.
Welcome to the
rebuild it.
Welcome to the Black Lives Matter podcast. This is your host.
The Murphy Brothers
Let's
darkness.
see, video window capture.
Darknesses. Sorry, force of habit.
They should have never gave y'all ninjas money.
I can't play with you, dog.
What the hell? Come on.
Darknesses. Yeah, it's weird because you can hear us.
Yeah, it's like OBS. It shows the. I'm just gonna delete it and display and redo the display capture. Yeah, it doesn't even have main monitor anymore. Like the.
What in the fuck?
Why it doesn't even update? Why the hell? And I've not plugged anything else in.
Well, this could be like a special podcast where just you hear a
There
voice.
we
You
go.
can
Not watch these AI character, you know, the AI
We're
videos
in.
with the characters, the life and shit. You can't watch them shits.
I don't even know what you're
Shit
talking about.
destroys your feed.
Oh, and it only recommends some of that stuff. So you're saying?
Right. Oh, AI bullshit.
Around bullshit and experience.
Let's say
What?
what?
In the chat, then the.
Oh yeah, they
live
added
chat.
that. It's like top fans.
Oh, I saw that today. I was commenting. Is it the most?
Yeah,
Somebody who's
it-
commented the most, I think.
Yeah, people
Oh,
who
really?
people who consistently show up to your streams.
That's cool.
I think it's
I know
whoever
it's
has the
on mine
most
a couple days ago.
comments. So I think if Lenny comments
Is
two
it
more
only on-
times, he'll be.
Is it only on
The Crown.
live streams?
I would think so.
I've only seen it on live streams personally.
Lenny, leave
Yeah,
two
guys, yeah,
quick
that's true.
comments in the chat. Let's see if you get the crown. I want to see if my theory's right. Donnie, quit do it. Hold up. Lenny, if you're still there, just type
This is-
3 things real quick. I just want to see
This
for
is
sure.
this is the only podcast where you tell a
Someone
person
type
not
three
to
things
I
comment.
real
think it's
So shut up,
overall,
shut up.
not just for today.
No, because I
Yeah.
commented
Yeah.
on one, and I've only been in like 2. Only commented in 2 of his streams, and I got the crown. But I had the most comments.
Oh wait, hold on. I could do this. I could do
Ass
this.
has it, and Lenny commented
No,
twice already.
I like how you telling these people not to comment on it.
So you're
live.
number
Number one,
43.
baby.
Oh, so it is. Yeah, now you're number 1.
Number one.
You
baby.
were number 3. Now you're number 1. There we go. Settled.
The screen supposed to be black. You got
I'm
a
like-
problem
I'm like-
with the screen being
I'm like,
black,
all right,
Lenny?
So you guys
Can't
can
take you
compete.
nowhere, bro.
Muhammad should be here. He should be number 1 with all the Xbox news popping up. We'll see if he's here today.
I was like, what Xbox news? Oh yeah, right. That
But anyway, before we
All bad.
get
dude.
into that, let me ask you guys, because I don't know if it's just the couple videos I happen to watch, but I just want to ask you, just give me your honest opinion. How do you feel about Nintendo's policy in bricking Switch 2s with and if you've seen anything on it, or if you haven't, just in general, what is your feelings on the whole thing? Do you think it's bad, good, or what? Indifferent?
Well, I guess are you saying you're getting a lot of recommended stuff?
I just know a couple videos I watch, people keep bringing it up like it's some big problem.
Oh yeah, people have been bringing it up.
I'm just wondering if
I
you
mean, I
think it's an issue.
It definitely depends on who you watch. I mean, like you know.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, I'm
PlayStation,
asking what
they can
you
brick
think.
those, too.
What do you think about Nintendo bricking
Hey,
people's
look,
systems?
I own a PlayStation. They can brick those. I mean, if I'm
Right.
fine with that,
They did
I
it
don't
for
care.
the Switch 1 already too. People are pretending like this is the brand new shit.
Yeah, my thing
Stop
is, like,
pirating
it's-
games, bitch. That's all.
It's
You
not
No, I'm
like-
saying I don't
it's not
pirate
like-
games. So it's one of those things that doesn't matter because it doesn't affect me because I don't do that.
I feel
Yes.
like they're telling you.
If I'm
they're
gonna
telling
steal
you-
games, I'm gonna do it on my PC. Ooh.
But they're telling
Rob-
you, hey, this is what we're gonna do if you do this, and then
You sound kind of low.
Me?
Is it just me?
Robert
or-
sounds fine.
Oh, maybe it's
Robert
just
sounds
me.
too clear. Robert sounds really clear.
But I was like, technically it's like, all right, so they're doing what they said they were gonna do. That is it. That's it, man. Like
I
it's
told you what I was
either
about to
Either
do.
you buy the platform or you want to use your damn flashcard thing because you don't want to, switch cards, or you just don't do it.
Use it on your Switch, bitch.
And they act
what they
like,
made
I
it
think
look.
it's pretty simple. Like, Nintendo is selling a product, and they can do with their product what they want. And I'm a purist. I got my NES here. I feel buy shit legally, and if you want to do other shit, well,
I
Here's
say
the
do
thing.
it.
you.
On a PC.
Here's the
Well,
thing.
that's what I'm saying.
Like
Is it
you
really
can
breaking
do it.
also, by the way? Is it breaking or is it like
It's
like
just
no, it's straight
banning
up
you from
breaking.
online. It's just
I was gonna say
online.
it's banning the online, which technically people consider as a brick because you can't go online. or
I
something.
didn't. Nah, that's not the same thing though.
That's not
It's
even
not the
good
same
enough.
thing.
Nah.
Yeah, because
You still play your
show, like,
console.
error
You just
messages.
can't go online. That's
In
Because didn't it happen
2025.
on the? Wasn't it the Wii with the Wii brew shit? That's where if they found out
Oh,
you
you
were
talking about
homebrewing,
homebrew? Yeah, I
that's
know
when
you're
they
talking
would break. That's when they would actually
Homebrew,
break
yeah.
it.
Yeah, you couldn't even use your shit.
Yeah.
Lenny says PC Master Thief. That is hilarious.
Damn.
So let's see what AI thinks. A brick's Nintendo Switch 2 essentially becomes an unusable paperweight. It
Oh,
means the
shit.
console software is corrupted or damaged to the point
We
where it
asked
can
the
no longer
AI to
boot
say?
up functionally. This could result from various
And
issues
so
like
we're
hacking.
using
enough-
AI now. Oh fuck.
But is it? I remember seeing. on
It
the
says it's
tweets and
completely
posts that
unusable.
all it was screenshots of like saying you can't go on. Like it's like this console's been banned from online. Like it's.
Oh, can it?
Like, I don't-
It says may
is it-
not
is it
even be
not-
able to turn on.
But I think that's only when you.
Brick the actual hardware,
From
when
what
you-
I've heard, from what I've heard is that when you, what's it called when like I'm gonna try to remove everything. It's like you sweep it. What's it called?
You're putting like
After a
custom
reset?
firmware and stuff. You're talking like
No. Like literally when you're like, oh shit, I'm going to literally restart the entire suite.
Oh,
What's
reset?
that?
Reset.
factory
reset. When you factory reset.
Factory reset. Yeah.
Supposedly when you factory reset, from what I've heard is that it fucks it up, and that's what bricks it. But initially, it's not bricked; it's just banned.
okay.
That's what I've heard.
So I honestly, as long as it's like no question about it, they were doing whatever, that I don't know what that thing is, so they can run ROMs and stuff. Brick away. But
Well, here, the
I'll be
thing is,
bricked
okay,
up all
here's
day.
the
Let's
thing.
get it.
Technically, you could be using it legally, right? You could just, I don't want to switch a bunch of games. I have the games. I just don't want to. I don't want to switch them,
mhm.
in and out. So there's a little gray area there, but at the end of the day, like, if you're not stealing games, why do you have a mixed switch? Because that
Mhm.
is the most unintuitive fucking. You got to sit there and literally like push the thing in, push it out to switch the game. So you might as well be switching on the
Mhm.
fucking game at that point,
You
right?
really,
Like,
you have to take it.
yeah, you have
go
to
in.
like tap in, you have to push it in, take it out, put it back in for it to switch the games that's on it.
Huh.
And it's just like, at that point, you should just switch the goddamn game.
Come on, man. What
Right.
really?
Right.
I had
Right.
no clue on that. That sounds even.
Right.
And you know that there might be a few people who are using it for the games they purchase, but you know damn well most.
Yeah,
It's
most
just
people aren't.
it's just like-
just to be real.
like
Let's
But
be
people
real.
use that shit as a cop out anyway. Like, oh, I bought
Yeah.
the game so I can rip it. Well, yeah, but these people aren't buying it to rip it. They're buying it to rip it and distribute it. They're just
Mhm.
not saying that.
Right, and you give it to other people. Right, that's
Yeah.
I think I've complained about it before. I hate when people make the arguments when it comes to things like emulation and use the best case scenario to make the
Yeah.
argument as if that's
Yeah.
the majority of people. And we all know
Exactly.
it's not. Yes, you could technically use it for legal reasons.
Yeah.
Most of you aren't, and most
Yeah.
of you aren't. But it won't work as an argument if you say that. Hence why
You ain't ripping your own
And-
game to save it for prosperity, okay? We all fucking know
Right.
that.
80% of the emulation I do is legal. That's that 20% though that I'm like, I'm not paying $300 for Hakage, however you pronounce it on Super Nintendo. First of all, you bitches ain't making no money off of that shit. So why should I go the route and have to spend
pay
hundreds
some
of dollars for a
pay
game?
a
That's
person a ton
like
of money.
right. That's stupid. Now if you offer the fucking game, then then I have no excuse. But if you don't offer that shit, I'm gonna get that bitch the way I damn well please. So,
And
but like newer games, you should be buying these games. Come on.
and if somebody wants to buy a Switch 2 and use it for whatever they want offline, they can do whatever the hell they want with it at that point. You can solder on shit like the OLED. You can hack by soldering some shit. You can actually install the overclocking and stuff on an OLED if you solder it. Like, do whatever you want it, but to expect Nintendo to just like sit back and Yeah, we don't. You bought it, so who cares? Now you're going on. You want to use Switch Online. You want to use their online service. You want to use the eShop, and you know, and they can see that you're using illegal modifications to and play ROMs. I'm like,
Right, but because you could be using it to cheat online, right? So they have every right in the world to say, I'm not letting you fucking play online. I don't know what the hell you're doing with this thing. I don't know if you have some kind of mods in that fucking software that help you cheat in Splatoon or whatever the fuck. So they have, every right to do it.
I wouldn't mind.
Mind you, these are the same people. These are the same people that be bitching about game key cards and not having the physical, but they want everything in one little cart that they can.
And by the way, all you have to do is turn off your fucking Wi-Fi. Turn it off. Turn off your internet if you want to use that bitch.
And I think the Switch One,
you're good to go.
You could boot it into the regular mode and go online, do what you want, and then when you turn it off, you can boot it into the homebrew stuff. You could do both, but I'm all for somebody like. I'd love to find out what the Switch 2 can do overclocked, because again, they got the CPU, GPU, whatever, clocked pretty reasonably.
It can melt.
And I would be very curious to find out, because so far the games run really well. We haven't had like a Switch. I mean, but Cyberpunk dips down into low 20, I think even in the teens in a few worst case scenarios. So I'd be curious to see what's extras in there. Maybe they'll be able to bypass the game chat, whatever resources that needs or something. I'm all for people doing that, but at the same time, don't expect to just be able to go online and act like everything's fine. And Nintendo has no right to brick your system. But the thing that annoys me is I clicked on a couple videos recently about like. Stop Killing Games was one of them, just about some of the recent cancellations and the layoffs. And 10 seconds in, and she brings up Nintendo bricking consoles as part of the problem in gaming right now. And I'm just like, I just stopped watching. I unsubscribed.
That girl, what's her name?
I don't know what her name is.
Some
NPC.
on that Stop Killing Games.
Yeah.
I haven't. From the videos I watch, I've seen no one bring up the Nintendo.
She brought up within 10 seconds of the video.
It was just someone that
the problem is that there's negativity in gaming, and Nintendo has a chunk of it now due to the Switch 2 stuff, so it's just easy to latch onto that. Yeah. Also, it makes headlines.
A lot of misinformation.
And it does show...
we're clickbaiting. We're clickbaiting,
It's a popular system that's out, and people go talk about it, and you get a lot of views and clicks talking about it negatively. Like, that's one thing I hate about this timeline we're in. I got a video on that, by the way. I hate about this timeline is the fact that
when it coming out, though,
you can't trust. Probably tomorrow. You can't trust.
God damn it!
What you hear on these, today, because you don't know most people's motivation, especially online, is money. Views. It's views. It's money, right?
It's like
I can't trust your opinion on shit.
Like the Linus was talking about how game chat's is tied to an additional charge on top of Switch Online expansion pass. It was an additional charge, and for like the first hour, and he's got 10,000 live viewers, and my work buddy who listens to him all the time, he always remembers those talking points and brings them up. And like, I'm just like, I left a comment. I'm like, this is such a non-issue. I'm so sick of hearing about Nintendo bricking systems. It barely affects anybody actually, and they make it sound like it's like this huge issue. And the only reply I got was nice straw man argument, and I was like, well, nice counter argument quotations. Like that's not a straw. That's a legit. That's just factual. It's not that big of an issue.
I don't think he knows what straw man means. Like some people be using words way wrong.
I think if I was actually diminishing some major issue with the Nintendo bricking it, making it sound like it wasn't, I guess that would be a straw man argument. If I was like, but
that's a step beyond what you were doing.
I think
so. It's not a straw
in his mind, he probably thinks it is some major issue because people probably he listens to, and it tells you that the person who making that comment either is just ignorant and just that's what they hear other people saying, and they're not really that informed, or they're just doing it on purpose because they know it stirs up stuff, or it's just a popular thing. But either way, I just found it funny. It just came up a few times recently. Then on Twitter, somebody was saying their console got bricked because somebody on their family plan did something wrong and it bricked everybody's. I'm like, I don't know if I believe that. And then I read a little bit more into the replies, and they said the person purchased an eShop card from a shady source, and the credit card didn't pay. Like they paid it, looked like it cleared, and then their bank rejected it afterwards or something, and that's what the person was claiming had happened, and they bricked the entire everybody on the family plan. I'm like, there's no way if that happened, and that was like, hey, why are you buying a eShop card from a shady person, whatever.
If you consider, if you're literally saying it's a shady thing and you're buying it,
but if your bank said no, this isn't legit, and they refunded the money, if that was like an actual scenario and Nintendo bricked everybody, so that would be kind of bullshit. Like, you'd hope you'd be able to.
But the minute you say shady,
you could contact support and you'll be fine. Like if you if for some reason that actually happened, you could totally contact support.
Right. But the minute you say shady, sympathy leaves the chat. Like what like what are you talking about?
But even if let's say you bought one and then your bank's like, this, I don't trust this, like from, I don't know, Alibaba or something. I don't know where he was buying that eShop card, and your bank's like, no, we're not paying for that. That I can't see them bricking a system if that they would just take the games back or something, or give you a notification, say, yeah, that card is no good, we're taking whatever they purchased back or something.
What's that Jay-Z line? We don't believe you. You need more people.
So it's just crazy, and we're just 2 days past 1 month of the Switch 2, so I figured we could just share our thoughts, and the four of us can share thoughts. Sorry, Retro. Didn't mean to laugh, but I forgot you.
He's a villain. He's a villain.
Give your thoughts on your first month. How you feeling about it?
I like video games.
So
I'm a lie.
Well,
Robert's got the most hours.
I just played Taigo no Tatsujin on Switch 1 because my unfortunately the drums that I got, I'm gonna be like T. The drums that I got.
No, you're too slow. T already had them in his hand 5 seconds ago.
What's it called? They don't work on Switch 2 apparly.
Oh really?
Yeah, I was about to say. I was about to
How do they plug
crash.
in?
It didn't recognize. It didn't recognize.
I got him. I can't reach him though.
It scared me because I saw him reach over. I said, "Don't do it, please don't do it."
It didn't recognize the Switch, so I ended up playing on Switch 2. So I ended up. Well, it's weird. It didn't recognize in game, but it recognized in the menus, like in the home menu.
Oh, so weird. The drum didn't work on Switch 2?
It worked as that's what's weird. It didn't work
as a
in
controller,
game,
but not in the game.
It worked as a controller on the home menu and stuff.
Right.
I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But it's like because I was technically like they updated the game. It was one of the games that wasn't working on Switch 2, and they updated it. So I was like, all right, cool. But me being me, I don't unplug anything, so my Switch 1 is right behind the Switch 2, so I just turned it on and got to playing. So it's not really, these consoles are so thin that I just have them like that is not a big deal.
Seriously.
And I just play. So I mean, not the biggest deal, but I mean, as for the past, month, look, I love Mario Kart. Like that is the system, obviously, right now until next week, until Donkey Kong, and I put in over 90 hours so far. Absolutely loved it. Did the all the missions, and it's a ton of fun. I love the system. I love the split Joy-Cons. I've been enjoying it more, the split Joy-Cons, because they are a little bigger, and I put the little wrist strap on it to make it a little bit girthier. and it feels nice. And it feels nice. And
I bet it does.
That's the only game that I really been playing on there. I do still obviously I play stuff like Ring Fit. I always have played that on there, which you use the Switch 1 Joy-Cons, works perfectly fine. Connects all good real quick. And
you noticed anything going back to Switch 1? Did you feel any kind of drop off in any way?
Just the resolution from the menu, but other than that, no. It's the game console that plays games. There's nothing quite unique about each one. You know what I mean? So they've never been.
I was thinking
not unique. Wait.
I was thinking of hooking
it's
my
not.
Switch.
They're both the same OS. You know what I mean?
I was thinking of hooking my Switch up and just booting up Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild right after playing it on Switch 2, just to see how big of a.
Well, that's gonna feel hugely different. Yeah, that will be hugely different.
Because honestly, at this point, I'm so used to the higher quality, the 60 FPS, I don't even think about it anymore. Already, it's already how it feels like it always was. I did the first the Air Temple again on Tears of the Kingdom, and yeah, that my second time doing that one, definitely just feels like a divine beast to me. I don't care. It does have a different boss. Obviously, the boss fights significantly different, but it definitely feels like a divine beast. But either way, I was thinking, man, the whole time I wasn't even thinking about it being 60 FPS. I was just playing the game. I didn't even think about it after a while. So I think going back would be a nice reminder as to what it was really like before. But
yeah, I mean, I'll say just real quick that yeah, I will be picking up Donkey Kong Bonanza next week since it is the Mario Odyssey team. It's a 3D Mario team, so I will.
Well, where's Ayers? He said it was the handheld Mario team last week.
I will be playing that day one. I'm very excited for it.
Of course you will. You got nothing else to play. You gotta play this.
No, but again, T, like in the end of the day, like if I'm going by my own rules, I wouldn't be playing it for years.
Oh, that's true. That's right.
But I'm breaking the rule because I'm that excited for the game. You know, so that's
I got you.
I gotta play.
I call bullshit on that.
But stuff like Hyrule Warriors and Kirby Air Riders, I'll be realistic. I'm not picking it up day one. That won't be played for years. Yeah. But
like well, I was gonna say nobody really cares about Kirby Air Riders, to be honest.
Don't do that.
Oh,
be careful. Be careful. Soccer got his goons out here. It take you off the map, man.
We haven't even seen the game yet, so like
it means nothing. Daddy Sakurai said it was great.
Supposedly comes out this year.
Daddy Sakurai said it was amazing.
I have a sneaky suspicion every month there's gonna be a game-specific direct for the games that are coming out.
Wait, what happened to that? I guess let's go through everybody else.
It's 2 in a row, man. Mario Kart, now Donkey Kong.
Yeah, you're jumping topics, man. Everybody got their change.
I'm just throwing a prediction out.
Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be a big direct before September.
He needs to fucking complain about this new system still.
So my thoughts are, I've used split Joy-Cons for probably less than 10 minutes total.
That's how long I've used.
I used the grip for about 2 minutes. That Pro Controller is just amazing. It did die though, like. Nice. No warning. I just worked. Next time I went to use it, it was dead. Like 3 days later, I'm like, what?
It's 20 hours, right?
I'm not sure, but it didn't give me a low battery or anything the time I used it before, so it was weird. But I played quite a bit handheld. I've actually did half the 150cc cups in handheld mode, and I'll say, like I brought up last week, John Linneman, just that guy is like. Those guys, they all have their thing. Like, one guy is the PC guy. He loves ray trace, whatever. John is all about like displays and being like, he's such a purist for motion and stuff. But anyway, I was playing. I'm looking for this so-called smearing, this ghosting, this terrible slow latency screen. And I'm like, Mario Kart looks freaking amazing. Like I'm playing it like inches from my face. I'm looking for it. I played Street Fighter 6. I'm looking for it. I see nothing. Like. The screen looks beautiful to me. Like it's amazing. Most of the time I play completely laying down in bed with my head propped up and the Switch on my chest. I had to make a little thing to separate it so that the speakers weren't completely blocked. So I got this little foam 3/4 inch foam thing to elevate it so the speakers aren't muffled from resting on the pillow or whatever. But I've been handheld a good amount. I played Tears of the Kingdom. Like I said, I finished the first, the Air Temple, and I don't know how many hours, at least 5 hours, I would say. Other than that, I initially played a bunch of games. I booted up a bunch of games initially to see how they played, like Switch 1 games, but nothing. I didn't really stick to anything. So it's basically Mario Kart. I think I got like 30-something hours and Tears of the Kingdom, but I've been thoroughly impressed with the screen quality. I did my video where I did the side-by-side for the Donkey Kong Direct, and I think it holds up. I think it's right there with the OLED. Other than blacks, it's the only thing it's lacking. I did fix. Somebody in the chat last week told me why my Switch was getting hot on the dock. It's because you leave the wired connection for updates or whatever. I forget exactly what it's called. It's in one of the settings to have the wired. I thought it was just to power my controller while the system was in standby, but I guess it keeps the Ethernet active all the time in standby to like search for updates, and that's why my Switch was so warm. And now it's just completely cool when it's sitting there in the dock turned off. Next day I checked it, just completely cool. So can't remember who left me that comment, but thanks to them. That was really my only concern I had. Yeah, so I think it's good. Sound quality is great in portable mode, and I'm pretty happy with it. Now, did I need it launch day? Could I have lived without it? Yeah, we did a couple sessions playing online right away, and we haven't done anything since. I honestly, I could have
You guys
waited.
didn't play Saturday?
Nah, I had to go to a family event, so I didn't hear nothing back from anybody else. Um, but I mean, it is what it is. Like every new system, I'd say like I still stand by my statement that in the past, new systems meant almost all new games. You know, even if they weren't great, almost all the games on a new system's launch were considered new games. They weren't 2 year old, 3 year old ports. So, in that regard, you know, it is a little lackluster for me. But overall, I'm enjoying it. Whoever wants to go, T or Terrell?
I'll let you go since I
Rich. Sorry.
why you're all asses. Why y'all keep doing that, bro?
How's your Switch
I
One?
mean, I think it's time to bring out the axe, man. I feel like this disrespect getting crazy.
God damn.
Don't let him get away with his disrespect, Retro.
Don't worry, Retro. Don't worry, Retro. You ain't missing nothing anyway. So,
I knew he was gonna do it.
yeah, I mean, I just went quickly about the screen thing. Yes, I guess technically it's worse, but here's the thing: like, if nobody said shit until this article comes out, this video, whatever comes out, and you had no problem with the screen then, why you got a problem with it now? That's just somebody telling you it's worse, and now you're feeling it's worse. That's all that shit is.
But I'm mad about it, T. Come on,
it's
bro.
so stupid. It is so stupid.
Come on, bro.
People are so easy to move, impressionable. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, the Switch 2 it's the Switch Pro. I mean, that's what it is. It's the Switch Pro. Better than what we thought we would have gotten back when we speculated the Switch Pro would have happened. It's definitely better than that. Power wise, even build quality wise, I think that's one of the best things about it. I like how it looks, how it feels. It's a solidly built system. And you guys know what kind of Nintendo fan I am. I like the more quirky, nuanced, new stuff. And because it's a Pro, it doesn't feel as cool to me. Like, is that a bad thing? Is there anything wrong with it? No, it just doesn't feel as cool to me because it's basically a Switch Pro. And I think some of the things that could have quelled that for me is the fact that we have the exact same OS. Like, you couldn't have done anything pizzazzier. I made that word up. You couldn't have done anything that that would have like made it a little cooler at least on the menu front, the what you see front. Brought back some
like wallpapers and stuff. Just anything. Anything to make me feel like I'm not just playing a sharper looking Switch. I feel like it's small things you could have done. I'm so pissed off about stupid ass what is it, tour, welcome tour. It's such bullshit. It is just such bullshit. Iwata would have never done this. It would have never fucking done this. Because I don't care about Welcome Tour. Right? Like, it's not something, I wish I could play it, but I'm just not play it because of principle. No, it is something that should have just been on the goddamn system or optional if you wanted to download it and play it. I guarantee you that's how it started. I guarantee you.
I'm sure that's how it started.
It's supposed to be
you don't call something Welcome Tour and it not be welcome to your console you just bought. I mean, it's obvious.
I think as a pack-in, like an interactive introduction to the system, it's cool. But as a $10 separate game, it isn't.
But you're asking me to purchase something that shows, features on my console, and it's nothing special game-wise. It's just it's a cool little. It's a digital fucking manual for your console, and it should be on the system itself. That just annoys me to no end. But at the end of the day, my biggest issues are the same as what I've always had. Is software-wise, because I have a fucking Switch, I have a Steam Deck, I have a Legion Go, I have an Xbox. Like, I have all these systems already. So porting over games to the Switch isn't doing anything for me third-party wise, especially if it's a key card, in which everything is. I'm liking key cards even less or even more than I did before, the more I think about them. But we can talk about that another time. But yeah, it's the fact that I like Mario Kart. Mario Kart just doesn't crazy move me as a Nintendo gamer. And so once I got over that, 10, 15 hours, I'm like, all right, now what's my next game? And it's starting to be Cyberpunk, but again, Cyberpunk doesn't feel it's cool that it's on Switch too, and it runs and looks as good as it does, but it doesn't feel new. Like it doesn't feel, because it's not, right? It's a 5.5-year-old game at this point. So I wish, either Donkey Kong was closer, or Donkey Kong was the day one game, and then for me, obviously a lot of people probably would disagree with that, but again, from my sensibilities and from my having this new console, I wish, that I love the Joy-Con. I think they're great. I can't believe they work as good as they do.
Yeah, the magnetic thing is just it's hard going back to the Switch ones.
Yeah, it's hard going back to the Switch one.
That feels so bad in comparison.
Forget my Legion Go, which was clunkier already. It kind of sucks. The magnetic thing is super cool. I only mess around with the mouse a little bit just to get a feel of it. It's pretty cool. Also, it works great. And the haptics are awesome. That's why you're missing out on, I think, if you're not doing split Joy-Con, because I think the haptics are great. Nobody's talking about it because everybody's playing a fucking Switch 2 Pro controller, and they just don't want to admit it. Everybody got a Switch 2 Pro controller.
I agree to that, Dan. There's some cool things in Mario Kart World that you could kind of
the haptics
I'm like, actually, it feels pretty good.
I have to go back and forth and see if I
notice.
notice.
Definitely an improvement over Switch 1.
A definite improvement. Yeah. Easy improvement over Switch 1. But again, it was the same thing when I talked about my Joy-Con drift problems. And people are like, oh, I ain't got no Joy-Con drift, because you're using a fucking Switch Pro controller all the time. You didn't put enough wear into that shit to have.
I think some of the drifting was Bluetooth connection. To be honest, I don't know.
I had Joy-Con drift from the start, day one. I bought the Pro controller day one. I never used my Joy-Cons. I didn't like them and stuff. And then I started using them. They had drift.
God damn.
Terrell fixes with that little squirt of WD that one time.
Hey, it works.
It works. Yeah.
But to be fair, T's right. Like for me, example, I kind of leaned into the Pro controller more and more, so I never ran into the problem afterwards. But that's because like you said, I didn't use them often enough to put enough wear into them.
I do want to add something. Just shout out to Switch Up. Just the amount of backwards compatible games are getting huge boost to performance. Like, again, I said it last week, Nintendo's not mentioned this. They're not promoting it. Some games are running locked, the upper end of their dynamic resolution scaling. Some were running at barely above 30. Now they're running locked 60. The boost to the two Zelda games, the top-down Zelda games, is massive. The free update, that wasn't just backwards compatibility boost, but they definitely did a good job. The system is, I would say, it's definitely more than a pro. I mean, it's a true generational leap in power. Now, depending on how they use that, it might be not as noticeable as in the past, but going up to higher resolutions and employing some different techniques, lighting and shadows and stuff, it might be not as noticeable, but it's definitely a 4 to 5 times boost to power if just raw. Playing a Switch 1 game on Switch 1 versus Switch 2 with no update, it's just, it's pretty.
Why do you think they're not promoting that? It's an awesome feature, and they're just not promoting that shit at all. Why?
Maybe because it's not guaranteed.
Remember, we weren't sure that we were like,
because they're not charging for it.
Yeah, that was on the bingo cards, and they never mentioned it then. They still haven't mentioned it. It's been proven.
Yeah.
And we didn't even think about. I remember when we were talking about how they're gonna do backwards compatibility. They're gonna do kind of like Xbox or thing. We were like, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if Nintendo.
I was like, no way is it gonna be better.
I thought it was gonna downclock.
Somehow they're all really good, man.
Yeah, it's like
really good.
Just seeing God, what game was it? It's just it was such a significant improvement. It was running obviously at the lowest end of the dynamic resolution scaling, and now it's at the top end, which might only been 720p, but still, that looks way better than 540 or 480p, and it's just significant. So anyway, Terrell,
they should get more credit for it, and they should talk about it more. Yeah. So that's
Terrell.
Because a lot of people be shitting on them online about reselling games, but I'm like, bro, there's damn near everything is not being sold, so it's like you could get everything, you know. So it's,
Was it like 12,000 games on the Switch at this point?
yeah, it's like yo, promote
Just a
that,
small
man.
number,
What you doing?
just a small number, you know, nothing crazy.
Yeah, it's like what you doing, man? Promote that shit.
I guess okay. So I would agree with Juice in the sense that I view it as a sequel. I don't view it as a pro. I actually low-key get mad when people view it as a pro because I feel like you're downplaying the system. I understand it from T's perspective, though. As someone,
I will view it as a pro when I get more Switch 2 games. Or excuse me, I will view it as a sequel, when I get more Switch 2 games. So
I mean,
Yeah, right now it's mainly a Switch
go
Pro.
ahead.
I understand. Yeah, at this point, if it's ironically enough, it's the same thing the PS4 had when it first launched.
PS5.
Where
Right.
no, yeah, you're right.
PS5 was like a PS4 Pro.
Yeah,
Pro.
There was PS5 because there wasn't anything really to play, and all people were doing was just playing PS4 games at higher resolutions, and some of them had like better frame rates. It wasn't nothing crazy. It was mostly higher
It
resolution.
launched with nothing.
Well, the
No,
problem is the PS4 didn't have backwards
With
compatibility to the PS3 though.
Rezo gun.
You talking about PS4?
PS4 didn't have any backwards compatibility though.
No, that's what I was gonna say. That's what I mean. The way people are treating the Switch 2 is the way people treated the PS5, where they spent a lot of time just putting in old games to see how much better they ran, whether they looked better or they ran better. As far as my personal experience with it, I kind of am in the same boat as T. Mario Kart is not the game that I bought the system for. Donkey Kong is absolutely the game I bought the system for. Mario Kart is a game that will last for the next probably almost decade. So it's not really a game for me to like blow my load on in the first few weeks and then never touch it again. I'd rather just play it a little bit at a time, which is what I do.
That's right. When you said blow my load, I knew what world we live in.
What about that new Daisy character model? What about that Daisy character model?
No, it's phenomenal. It's magical. It does things to my body that I can't legally talk about.
Did you blow your load out?
The point I'm making is, though, as far as the console itself is concerned, I've very much been heavy on the Pro Controller. Even when I put this thing in handheld, I will say this: people talk shit about that kickstand. It works way better than I think people give.
I do like it.
It works way better than people give it credit
for.
About
a kickstand? Which one?
Oh, yeah,
initially, I thought it felt like it could bend or something if you only pulled up on one side.
Yeah, it looks like it, but it's very solid and sturdy.
Yeah, it's sturdier than what people are giving it credit for.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I'm Pro Controller gang all day, baby. I just, it's not even, no disrespect to the Joy-Cons. I have tried it without the Joy-Cons. I mean, I've tried it with the Joy-Cons. Works fine.
Yeah.
But I'm biased. I'm waiting.
The Switch on the stand could withstand your load.
Dude.
I see. I knew Robert was gonna be the worst of them, but it's always a delayed reaction. I got to give him enough time to come up with a joke to fuck the whole thing up. I know exactly how this was gonna go. It's okay. Actually, you can't take all my load. God damn it.
Okay.
The point I'm making, this only happens with me, bro. It's crazy. The point I was making though is, I'm enjoying the console. I'm very excited for Donkey Kong next week. I think we're gonna get essentially a major release every month for the rest of the year for the most part, barring maybe 1 or 2 months of a gap.
Sounds like you already had a major release.
Oh, it's coming. It's gonna keep coming. It's gonna keep coming. It won't stop coming, and it won't stop coming.
Literally. Retro, you need to get a Switch too, so these jokes.
So you can blow your load. You can blow your load. Your wife might be worried why you're dehydrated. Don't worry about all that, okay? Just know it's about the games, man. It's about the games.
What if Death Stranding, Days Gone comes to Switch 2?
Dude, I'm like Robert. Mario Kart for me is like a top 1 fucking priority, you know? I don't have it because I can't have it right now. That's the only reason. If I had $500, I would have already fucking gotten it, and I would still be playing Mario Kart and still be enjoying it.
And he somehow would have more hours
than me. It's a massive title.
I'm sure.
Like, I could go like 3 months just playing Mario Kart. Like, it doesn't matter.
Everybody's different, man.
But you also have a goddamn new 3D coming next week.
Yeah, that's true.
Big DK energy, baby.
It's been a long wait, but it's almost here.
I want.
because I've been
What y'all
craving
think
it for a while.
I was gonna say what y'all think the review is gonna look like.
Say high
I
eight.
think it'll hit 9s, 8s, yeah, high 8s, 9.
Well, no, but what we're gonna say, like,
Dude.
well, let's predict the Metacritic. Let's.
That's what I was gonna go for. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna say
92.
87.
What'd you say, Retro?
92.
It's exactly
That's
mine.
not a bad one.
92.
It's not
Goddamn it.
bad. I think both
92.
you and Juice or I'm actually gonna, it's tough because the 3 Mario team, it could be a 96, 97.
It could.
I'm gonna
play a little
say.
safe. Play a
Mario,
little
and the only thing that's stopping it for me from saying something that high is because I don't think as many people are going to be 100% on the braking mechanic, and I'm sure maybe
Right,
they'll
yeah.
down by a few points. So I'm gonna say, I know that's more than a few points, but I'll go in between you two and say 91.
You're trash. I hate you.
You mother.
That's why we don't take you nowhere,
Honestly,
bro.
I could even see like an 89, but I'm just gonna stick with 91. I'll just say 91.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be reckless. I'm gonna say 97.
What?
Holy.
That would be
Okay.
awesome.
Again, Odyssey did that.
I hope
Galaxy
you're
did
right.
that, and Galaxy 2 did that.
Bruh,
So, to be
If
fair,
he gets a 97, I'm running. I'll be like, hey, it's King, baby.
You think
The
they
king
sent
is
out review
here.
copies?
but if it gets a
I'm
97,
pretty
how
sure-
will people try to knock it down from Game of the Year for
think
the
they will.
Game Awards?
Oh, well, you know why? The only game this year that you could really compete with it is fucking Expedition. That's the only game I've been
The
hearing.
only one that
We haven't sent them out yet. I feel like somebody was talking about having one.
I'm pretty sure it's out
Somebody
'cause
said
I've
they
seen
played a
footage.
lot of it. Nintendo liked
Yeah,
or
I've seen-
somebody.
I heard people have played previews, but I don't know if they've actually played it.
No, I heard. Maybe it's a different game.
I'm just looking forward to
could've sworn
having
it
an
was Donkey
actual
Kong, though.
physical Switch 2 cartridge. In
No,
box.
it was Donkey Kong. It was one of the fucking. He said,
Oh,
"I gotta
fun
go."
fact, this will be my
He's
first
saying
$70
I have
game
to
I
go play
purchased.
some Donkey Kong. I was like, "Oh, you got a review copy?
Huh?
Who the fuck was
Ever?
that?"
Yeah.
Wait,
Tears
what?
of
Wait,
Kingdom.
what?
I said this will be my first $70 game purchase.
Oh wow.
Because Tears of the Kingdom, I did the thing what you did, T. The
Oh,
coupon.
yeah.
The voucher.
The
Yeah.
voucher, my bad, the voucher.
Yeah.
So
I was
had
gonna.
to
I'm
spend-
saying, wow, like I'm that far behind you. I bet my first $70 purchase was fucking old ass game in Cyberpunk.
I think mine was
At least you
NFL.
buying a new game around this bit.
I think my
The
first
kicker-
$70 was NFL Quarterback Club '98, but I can't be sure. It might have been 60.
Oh wait a minute, yeah. What am I saying? Back in the '90s, I got a couple of those.
The kicker,
Never mind.
The
Never
kicker
mind.
is there are games that I own that I would have totally spent the
I think
money for.
DK64 was pretty expensive with that memory
DK6
expansion.
No, they didn't charge extra, and I think that's what made Nintendo a little upset that they had to pack it in. But they didn't charge extra. I remember it being $59.99 back in the day.
I mean, we can't.
which was still
count-
high because most games were $49.99 at that time. Nintendo was charging a little $10 more for N64 games and up. So
We can't count secondhand. I'm guessing because that wouldn't make sense. Because then it would be.
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't count
Yeah.
second. I wouldn't count second.
no,
hand.
we can't count that because I got way more than I want to
Yeah,
count.
I was gonna
I want to
say.
talk about.
The funny thing is, I have titles that I would have spent the 70 for, and then things kept happening. For example, I would have bought Stellar Blade, and I didn't have to. So somebody was a generous man. Appreciate his generosity.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
You're welcome. So,
Yeah, 'cause
according to
it
this,
definitely was worth the money. So
I don't know what region this is, that the expansion pack Donkey Kong 64 bundle was $79.99 at launch. The game itself required the expansion pass, meaning it was not sold separately. So it doesn't say if that was like US. Some sources mention the price of $59.99. However, the price is likely incorrect. The expansion pass was a separate component. But yeah, there was a bundle, so I don't know. It's hard to... I don't remember. I know Perfect Dark didn't force it.
There's my out, Lenny
We
Wright.
don't talk
There's my
about
out.
listen. That game's triggering. You can't bring that up, just.
It's not a standard edition game.
That's true.
It's an ultimate edition. So there you go.
It
I
comes
got
with the
my out.
DLC. That's a $30 DLC.
That's a $30
Exactly.
DLC. Yeah.
I was gonna
yeah.
say to be fair, yeah, it is a
Then
package.
again, I've spent $80 if you want to count dollars. $80 for Darksiders 2 on the Wii U, which was like
No, but you didn't.
$15.
That's not
a month
US
after.
dollars. I don't know what it converts
I
to. yo.
Yeah, we don't
converted
count.
it to dollars.
Is that
It
euros?
was 70
That conversion wasn't good
70
enough for
euros.
Robert.
It was 70 euros like 20 years ago.
If you
What's
mad
that
at
year?
me,
Over
nigga,
$80.
you didn't
It was
spend the
not
money.
20 years ago. He said Dark Side
20
is
years
two?
ago.
Dark
That was
Side is 2 on Wii U.
2012.
That was
Well, it's
2012.
2012.
that's still a while. 13.
Yeah.
13 years then,
There ain't
whatever.
no 20 years ago.
No,
It's
that's
way
no,
closer.
no, you can't say whatever.
Let's
that.
look
That's
up
kinda
USD
It's way closer to 10 than it
to
is 20.
euros.
Yeah, that's crazy. You can't do that. That's kind of crazy.
20 years ago, 2005.
20 years ago, 13, whatever. No.
Okay,
You're like
so
sir.
You're like those people that be saying, "Oh, half a decade." Bitch, just say 5 years. What's this half a decade
Well,
bullshit?
to be fair, T,
Trying to make
said
it-
half a decade. I've
Trying to
actually
make it sound like a lot more and shit. That's
I mean,
what.
I think to be fair, that might be trauma.
at my work before to make it sound big. I was like, I was here for half a
Yeah,
decade.
right. That's why. Exactly. That's why people say
Well,
it.
fine.
Make it sound like
It
more.
was 3 half decades ago.
Shut up. Shut up. I hated all of that. It was 4 score and 3 half decades ago.
Almost spit take all over my computer, you asshole. I was this close to spit taking.
I can't believe you had the nerve to do that.
There has to be a big
God
difference
damn
between
it.
13
3
and
half decades ago. I'm angry just because.
Oh, that's coming. Someone's gonna say that bullshit. Somebody's going to say it.
I hope it's in a presidential election. 4 score and 3 half decades ago.
Even though a decade and a half makes more sense, they're gonna say
Shut up.
3 half decades because it sounds like
Yeah.
more. You bastard.
I feel like it's shorter just to say 15 years, and they'll still be like 3 half decades ago. My grandfather, he came to this country with a dream.
so
and then he just
with the heavy
came.
load.
He just came.
and then my father was born.
Oh, what is this podcast? You're right.
And then my father. That's good. That's good, Juice. I like that. I like that one a lot.
7 moments. What kind of Juices Loose podcast is this?
And then 3 half days. 3 half decades ago, I came. What? Hold on now.
All right, so
Lord
moving on.
Jesus.
Moving
I hate
on.
it. It made me laugh so much.
So there was.
How about that Perfect Dark, man?
Well, last week Terrell, I brought up Xbox, and Terrell's like, Fable came up. You're like, isn't that canceled? They're canceling that, right? Or cancel? We're like, no, they ain't canceled Fable.
Yeah, I would.
That exists.
And
You're
like,
right.
not even 5 days later, they announced the cancellation of Perfect Dark.
I knew in
and
my soul.
Everwild, which was crazy. Just crazy that you brought up Fable, thinking it was.
I knew in my soul something was going. I just got the game wrong. I will.
Fable.
I was confident. I'm
Multiple
confident.
games.
I was confident at
Multiple
that time. I'm a little less confident now that Fable's not getting canceled, but I'm still. I don't think it is. But
No, I don't. I mean, I
think
guess-
it's fine, but
I don't
Who
know.
knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Trash ass
Who knows?
company. They don't know what the
Who knows?
fuck they're doing.
I would say another game that no one's talking about was the guy who Romero he created Doom. He has
yeah,
a,
but
Oh yeah, that.
But that
come
game-
on, man.
that game they didn't
No,
even
don't do
say.
that. You can't do that.
They didn't even say. They said somebody was publishing it, a big publisher, but they never said. Well, now they said because the game got canceled. But it's been 7 or 8 years, and they still had nothing to show. So I was like, I don't really blame them for that one because
you saying you collecting a check, man. You ain't doing.
if a
man.
studio
You like
in
that-
7,
you
8
like that
years,
Jade Raymond chick. Remember her on Sony? And she was everywhere. Her last stop was Sony. All she did was collect checks. She ain't make no games nowhere.
at some point you got to deliver a game, whether it's good, bad, or
Yeah.
indifferent. You have to have a game. You can't just like what we said about Retro Studios. What have they been doing for that many years? Well, they've been working on ports and helping other teams.
I
No,
tell you
no,
what
but
they haven't been
no,
doing.
but we did know what we did because remember a game leaked, but it was canceled.
They're not getting fired. I know that.
At this point, the crazy thing is that Xbox is fucking canceling games that they've shown gameplay for,
Well,
Like,
apparently,
Starbound, Perfect Dark.
that's
That was like
crazy.
I don't know about
elaborate
Everwild.
gameplay.
to be
original.
fair, I heard a rumor supposedly that when Perfect Dark was shown, that supposedly that trailer was just fake. Like that was
No.
a trailer.
That's
That's what I
not
was
true.
gonna say.
Not
I'm
true.
wondering if
The
that's
developers came
Go ahead,
out
T.
and said-
Go ahead, T.
The
Yes,
developers came out and said no, that was a game. They didn't say how far into it that of a game that was. That could have just been a gameplay segment and it wasn't like really built into the game yet. But no, they said that there was some CGI in there, but you can tell what the CGI moments were. That was in-game, like actual gameplay. So
Yeah, they were saying that apparently like they had to play the game exactly how that was, or else then like or else it was like a slice of the game because
Yeah, it was a
essentially
slice.
if
It was
they
a,
did
basically
something
like a
else out of it,
playable
then it
Unreal
would-
demo
it would-
kind of thing. It could have
Even
been.
Scalebound had that like playable dragon boss fight thing like
Oh.
years ago and stuff.
Scalebound was
Yeah.
way far more in development
Yeah.
as an actual game than
Yeah,
Perfect Dark was.
that one's probably
Well, I
more of a
think-
travesty because of how
Right.
far they were.
I think there was 2 stages because remember before Crystal Dynamics got involved,
Right.
I bring this up a few times. Somebody was saying, "Oh, Phil said he had it over the holidays. He's been playing the build and it said it's great." This is like 2020, 2021, and then they announced they're bringing in Crystal Dynamics. Maybe they had an early build and they did a Metroid Prime and we're going to start over. Maybe we'll find out someday. But that one
Yeah.
was surprising.
That's the most painful one for me because first of all, that shit looked fantastic. Like I love the gameplay idea. That felt like old Perfect Dark, with some new gameplay mechanics. It looked great, sounded great. I don't know who that voice actress was. She was perfect as Joanna. Like everything was working for me in that, and that's painful, man. That hurts because Perfect Dark is one of my favorite games on one of my favorite consoles. My favorite console of all time, and I was like,
Xbox 360?
Microsoft,
The 360.
no, don't play.
And I like how the joke came at the same
And,
time.
should we welcome in the late arrival of pizza eating Sandstorm?
No,
Come in to talk
That's what I'm
Xbox?
saying. His mouth is full.
This
Leave him
man
alone.
Is
came
his
in
mic muted,
bite-
you think?
in mid-bite. He came in mid-bite with the camera on, like he had been here the whole time.
Can we hear him?
That was
With
great.
the
That was
nom
epic.
nom nom 3000, baby.
Am I muted? Can you hear me?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear.
Okay,
There you go.
You got some pepperoni in your beard, dog. Come on now.
I'm good. I'm
Got
good.
some
Just-
mozzarella.
When you have a beard this immaculate, you don't get nothing from me.
So for your birthday present, I'm buying you shavers. I'm buying you some clippers then.
It ain't happening.
Yeah.
My girl would be she would be highly
So
irritated.
Sandstorm's got a new girl. She lives like 10 minutes from me. So
Why you putting this on this man's info?
Yeah,
no one knows where that
You
is.
don't do
I'm
that.
just saying.
That's what I'm-
I'm just saying.
Don't do that.
That's
You
cool.
ain't what we do.
Small world.
If I need an assassin to come around the way, use a guy. That's a window shot.
So
But,
if she got a fine sister, then you know who to hook up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like no move to the Midwest. Oh, never mind. What am I talking about?
But the other part of the Perfect Dark thing is, and I can see like
Painful.
companies doing
Painful.
this but I don't remember if I said this specifically about the initiative, but when you just put a studio together and then give them an IP and you don't even have like you're not starting from like a game concept. That's how it felt like to me. Hey, we're gonna build the studio, the first quadruple A studio. And then got talented people together, but there's no guarantee that they're going to jive, they're going to have any chemistry, they're going to be able to make a good game. And then you try to resurrect an IP. Maybe they had a game idea at the beginning. I kind of feel like they just didn't. We just got to bring back Perfect Dark. We're going to do it, and you guys are going to do it. Figure it out. That's kind of how, without knowing, that's just from the outside in. That was kind of my impression of how that. And that's, I mean,
well, we know from other reports that like Microsoft has been really hands off in terms of managing these guys. It's kind of like, hey,
2 hands off. To
the point where it's like they're just kind of left to their own devices, and now they're like, oh, we lost how much money from these guys? Oh, well, I guess we need to fire all of them.
I mean, they paid how many years ago was
Yeah,
that? They've been
right.
paying these people the exec. It's probably a lot of money into that studio.
They got rid of. I hate to say it that way. It's horrible.
They
Either
took
way
them
you say
out.
it, it's terrible. They
Bang, bang.
laid off 9,000 people recently. Not all on. Not no.
Not all Xbox.
What is it? 4% of it is Xbox or something like that. But if you count all those salaries together just for 1 year, you're at about $900 million or something like that. I think that's how I count. You gotta do it. I think I was doing on the higher end, closer to like $100K a year or something like that.
I won't question it.
But that's a lot of money, bro. That's a lot of savings.
And it's like, imagine you start a
So
studio.
question then, does that mean like, so depending on how far you are into making this game or whatever, do you finish off the game
What happens? Well,
and then
first of all,
count
Perfect
your
Dark
losses, or
Perfect Dark doesn't have that problem, I don't think, because I think it was at this point it was barely a game, which makes me even sadder. But yeah, what do you do with games that were like that online game that Bethesda was working on? Dark Heart or something like, I don't know what it's called. Something
Yeah, I know
like
what you're talking
that. Like that game was worked on for years, and that was one of the games that Phil Spencer said, "Oh yeah, I played this. I couldn't take my hands off of it," or some shit like that. And I'm like, I don't know if you just a straight up liar, Phil, or if Microsoft is making you a liar
I'm assuming
because
the
of what
first
they're
thing.
doing. I think it's a little
you're
bit
a
of both.
liar. You're a
I think it's a little bit of both. I think he does
This
like,
guy's a phony.
want these things
Oh,
to happen, but he don't got no control. He ain't in control. Satya Nadella is in control of what's going on, and that's another sad thing. But Perfect Dark, man, that broke me.
And we
That
knew
broke
the
me.
Rare game was. I mean, there was no doubt that game was never.
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
out.
We didn't even mention Everwild yet, but that wasn't.
Was that
that's also-
2019 they showed it first, or 2020?
But hold on, I think that was a game that Phil Spencer said he likes it and is making good progress.
That's the one that they
I'm
said
like,
that they didn't even know what the game was.
Yeah.
we still don't know what that game was.
They said they weren't sure
But
how
it's
to
making good
what
progress.
game it's going to be. They just knew they had the art style and the designs of the.
The world order.
Yeah, you gotta have to open this indie studio. You want to do that kind of shit? We gotta make money over here. Said
Yeah.
Microsoft.
Imagine-
We ain't got time for that bull.
Just getting back to the initiative, they had literally didn't make anything.
No initiative. Oh,
Did they help with any games? I don't know, but they produced nothing in however many years, all that money,
Yeah.
and produced
all them
nothing.
salaries.
And it's like, if you're gonna put a new group together, I mean, I don't know. It just feels like you would do that because somebody really had an idea or something. I don't know. It's just hard to
They
imagine.
threw money. All they did was throw money at a bunch of big names,
Yep.
and those big names class at the top. That's why they
Mhm.
ended up bouncing. You can't make a studio out of that. You got to have people who are fucking passionate.
It has
and
to
wanna make
happen
something
more
specific.
organically. You have to have a studio
Yeah.
work its way up. You can't start be a big studio. I wonder how many situations that's happened, and if it's before, and if it's actually ever worked before, where the game actually came out, or a movie, or whatever it was. It's like, just throw a bunch of people together that have good resumes. It's not guaranteed. I'd say the best studios probably.
Like,
the
why
last
would
time
you?
I seen a bunch of superheroes get together on one team and it epically failed was with the the 04 Lakers against the Pistons. Terrible.
That's true. That's a good
That's so
comparison.
weird you brought that up. I was thinking about that shit earlier today.
I was
That's
watching
so
2
weird
weeks
that
ago.
you
I was
brought that
watching
up.
a video on how their defense, the Pistons, were so good. But yeah, they just threw. You had superstars. They brought in some older players that were good players, and they put them on a team, and they got destroyed by a team that just was all about team chemistry.
They had like fucking
But-
Gary Payton and what's his
Mahone-
name from
Mahone-
Utah,
Carl Malone.
Karl Malone.
Karl Malone, and like I was like, they're gonna be the first four. They're gonna be the first four Pete
Yeah, who's gonna
ever.
beat them? But
Nah,
it's just not. It's not how it
Nah.
always works. Like
nope, they don't work that way.
sometimes.
But also, well, one thing I want to say though is that business wise, I think they thought they wanted to skip steps, right? They wanted
Yeah.
to skip steps. It's like, instead of breeding these developers and making them work on a game and work their way up and stuff, they're like, hey, we're gonna make the first quadruple A studio. We're gonna give these guys a shit ton of money if they never made a game. What? I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. It's like, oh well, they've done stuff before, but it's like, realistically, you should, hey, we have this new studio, we're gonna give you a certain budget. This is what it is. Release your first game, see how you guys work as a team, blah blah blah. Not, hey, we're gonna give you the biggest budget we've ever given someone, and here, take it, and I'll see you. It's like, wait, what?
Here's the thing: you can do that. You can actually do that. You have a bunch of talent. You can do that, but you got to stay on their ass. You can't just let them do what the hell they want to do. You got to say, these are deadlines. I need to see this and this and this by this time. And that's what you got to do.
You
with
have to
that
have
group,
somebody at the
especially a
top
group of egos.
that is
Yeah.
for sure the leader, for sure the head person that can make the tough decisions. If you got too many, like, I don't know, probably not the right term, but alpha males or whatever, guys that want to run the project or whatever. I'm not saying that's what happened here, but too many chefs in the kitchen. I seen it where I worked years ago. We had 100 and almost 120 employees, and like 55 or 60 of them were managers. I'm like, half your staff is managers, like.
God.
And like the IT department had 3 levels of management before the 3 guys who actually
That's
worked.
a disaster.
It's just they were making so much money they could afford it. But anyway, like it's like Robert says, you can't just throw them together and just give them a big project. Like I'm sure all the best studios, maybe there's some one time they got together and they made magic happen, but I'm guessing most studios.
I'm sure it happens here and there, but it's not. It's
like,
very rare.
They started out in the years ago.
I mean, if we think about it, I'm like trying to think of some of the biggest games of all time. I can't think of a single one where it's like, oh yeah, this was their first one.
No, that happens with smaller studios. That's what I'm saying. That doesn't happen in a big ass studio and a big ass game.
Hollow Knight was, I'm guessing, Team Cherry's first, but
it was also a Kickstarter.
But either way,
exactly. The Kickstarter working at like
ukulele.
It wasn't just here's a bunch of money and let's do it.
So that wasn't the only
funny.
studio. I guess somebody, I don't know if this is official, said that the Forza Motorsports, they're done for now. They're done with that.
Turn 10 lost some people.
Like half the staff.
Apparently 50%, like they got cut in half.
And I'm
the fuck.
But honestly,
and they're gonna be used as support for like the Horizon series or something like that.
But racing sims, I'm sorry, they peaked at PlayStation 1, especially
No.
Xbox.
We can't do that to that. But the Forza series has been peak for a while.
I mean, they're still quality games, but I mean, the racing sim.
For Xbox. It's a big staple for Xbox.
But like Gran Turismo 7 isn't what it like. That series just doesn't have the same mass appeal as it did back when it was.
All right, I understand that. So maybe you don't make one every year, and they decided to do that. Obviously.
Yeah, they took a while on the last one.
There's a lot of talented fucking people. You're just gonna let them go? Like if it's just a thing, 50% of staff. If it's just a thing about these games don't sell anymore, fine. Go send those guys to do something else. Don't fucking fire them.
And Playgrounds has been
the
making
richest company on the planet. Yes, people. Microsoft is the richest goddamn company on the planet. So
realistically, because you do a Forza every fucking year, these devs could have just been on burnout.
They haven't been doing it like that for a while, but the other issue is
they haven't done it for a while.
The more successful
Xbox games are like 5 years, but still
the more popular Horizons franchise is Playground. Well, they've been working on Fable for like 4 years now, so you couldn't get the entire turn 10 to be working on.
That's what I'm
Horizon.
Saying. You took these Horizon guys who never made anything but a racing game and put them in a fucking RPG.
Yeah.
Why'd you piss off the turn 10 dudes and tell them to go spit? Like that's crazy.
Yeah, that's true
crazy.
Too. Like they could have also been working on a different game, maybe Forza Horizon 6, maybe a different game, completely new IP, something.
Well, here's something.
And by the way, they're rehiring some of these people. So they're fucking firing them, and they're telling them, come and reapply for other. Like, fuck you. Like I
remember when Nintendo closed down all those.
My job.
Nintendo closed down the San Francisco stuff when they were at their peak making money, and they're like, "Nah, we're just gonna close down." It kind of feels like, Microsoft was saying how well they're doing, how many users they got, they're doing really well. Like, and then I don't know if it was after or before the layoffs, and then say, well, Microsoft wants to invest heavily into AI technology, and it's just like
they already have. They put $80 billion in that thing.
Yeah, they put a ton of.
I mean, there's some cool uses for AI, but I don't know. I see.
That might be a gamble that they miss on. Might be.
I don't even know what they're expecting, because again, it's still different things. Like you're laying off people that have nothing to do with AI.
That's just freeing up assets.
It's not just
that's a business thing.
It's not just AI. I think it's they just for some reason they're cutting off. They're just trying to find ways to piece, and they're probably sitting down like, well, should we cut off these people? What have they been doing for so many years? I guess we don't really need that. Let's shut that down. I don't even think there's like a specific, reasoning.
That's where I got the 4% from. Microsoft fired 9,000 people.
That was 4% of their entire staff. And
it's only 4% of their company. It's only 4% of their entire staff.
That's crazy.
Because they employ that many people.
Yeah, they have,
It's
I
a-
think it's
it's a
like
fart to
300, 250,
300,000. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like it's a lot of employees, man.
That's
Goddamn.
That's
Yeah, because realistically,
Shit.
Microsoft does a lot more than just Xbox, you know. So it kind of
Oh, I
makes
mean,
sense.
way more,
Yeah.
way more.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the Xbox portion of the people got fired is a really tiny percent of people. But they don't feel like that. You don't feel like that when you got that fucking pink slip that you're a tiny percent. So
Yeah.
I don't know though. It seems like there was quite a few people at the initiative. I mean, I don't know if it's a if
well,
it
I
was
think they shuttered the whole of initiative, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah,
I,
there's-
mean,
there's
I would
a
guess
couple.
that's a few
I mean,
hundred
even
just
if
there.
that's, well, yeah, a few hundred, but I mean, what's a few 100% of
9,000.
Well, out
300,000?
of 9,000
Or
though, to
just-
figure
yeah,
out how many
9,000.
of the 9,000 was Xbox specific.
Even the 9,000. Oh, I guess.
If it was
like,
1,000, then
But
you
yeah,
know.
well, my point. I guess my point is that this isn't Xbox is fail. This is not an Xbox is failing thing because they are not. They're making. They've touted about how they're doing record numbers and this and this and that. This is a restructuring. Yes, they had a lot of redundancies because they acquired all these fucking companies, but then don't acquire all these fucking companies. Like you can just do that or not do that, and then actually invest in a studio instead of buying up all these other studios that you're going to end up shuttering after a few years.
I think it's a failure in a couple regards, like we mentioned. Like, you know, whether people liked Hellblade 2 or not, they gave Ninja Theory the freedom. They were promoting like 3 or 4 different games, and they were all related to like what do you want to call it, psychosis, and they were like stuck. In my opinion, they're stuck on one idea. They're
not a commercial game.
They showed like 3 games, Hellblade 2 and a couple others that are all related to like mental illness and stuff, and it's like, you know, like, put out a game first. Like, you guys aren't that big. Microsoft first thing they did was build a brand new facility, and then they built a brand new volume for motion capture, which I'm not sure where they're at, but I don't think they're in a location that like all these Microsoft studios can just freely use this motion capture volume. And before they even had, years before they even had a game out, you know, they're talking 3 games plus all this additional this new building. I saw the video they were talking, and I mean, I liked watching the Hellblade 1 like documentaries. I was like, oh, they seem like really, you know, good people. And then I see the head guy, and now he's got this, I mean, just fanciest office with these bookshelves behind him, glass bookshelves, right, and all this. Like, I'm like, this is a different. Need that shit? This is a completely different vibe going on watching this versus the ones I used to watch before I bought Hellblade.
Yeah, it felt like a fucking garage studio.
It's like, it's cool to like. I remember they said we want these teams to make the games that they're passionate about. They let them, you know, whoever made, I can't remember who made Grounded. But Ninja Theory did put out Obsidian.
It's Obsidian.
Ninja Theory did put out the I can't remember the next gen 720s version of the game. What he called it. Does anybody remember that online?
I know. I can't.
Which one?
The Ninja Theory. Yeah, bleeding ass.
Bleeding ass. I knew what it was called.
That was their passion project. That was their passion project. They were letting them make the games they wanted. They were letting all these companies make the games they wanted. And it's like, that's bleeding fine ass. If you're not gonna like cancel them or close them down after their game comes out. Like the guys that made Hi-Fi Rush. Like, you tell me you couldn't put them towards another game after they had a critically acclaimed game. Like,
yeah, they remember they shuttered those guys, and then one of the guys came out. Was it Matt Booty or somebody came out and was like, "We need to invest in smaller games." Blah blah. Basically, talking about games like Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah,
after
exactly.
you just fucking fired these people. I'm like, are you serious? How tone deaf are you?
And the kicker is, from what I remember, Hi-Fi Rush still made money considering the shitty way it was handled. Because remember, it was shadow dropped. It wasn't even like,
yeah, that's right.
It wasn't even like it had
I'm
no
still
marketing.
waiting on the physical copy. What happened to the physical copy? It's definitely coming. Somebody coming to play that game.
No. I'm coming. You get it right. Get it right.
Somebody coming, but it ain't no.
Is somebody gonna take Ayers out? He's the #1 chat guy. All I see is Ayers.
I mean, let the man speak.
Someone come
Everyone's
prayers.
killing this chat, bro.
I'm gonna be real with you. This is Xbox not knowing the fuck to do because they waited. The problem is this: it's kind of obvious that over the last couple of years that they've been slowly trying to exit out of making hardware. Now the idea seems to be that they're trying to make other people make hardware for them, and they just slap their logo on it. So I'm like, okay, cool. You want to be software? Okay, fine. We're pulling a Sega kind of. And then I look at the software and I'm like, because I feel like this wasn't a recent issue. Like this has also been going on, like even with games like Crackdown 3 or State of Decay, what was it, 2? And I'm looking like,
Well,
why are you
3, man?
What is this? I have one gripe with this whole. Where did this idea of they're trying to get people to make their hardware? Where did that come from?
It came from the fact that they've actively not done anything to promote their own hardware or even make their own hardware. The ROG Ally
Well, they have a
collaboration.
Xbox Series X and S are already out. What?
Yeah, but they definitely aren't really concerned about selling those. There's been no.
Well, at this point, no. At this
Well,
point,
that's my point. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Do you think the next Xbox is going to be a partnership like the
Is there
PC
a-
one?
I would be surprised if it wasn't.
Is there a next Xbox?
No, I think they've
There
already said.
definitely is a-
Confirmed the
They're
next-
definitely next
Here's my
Xbox.
thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, where is this narrative coming
I don't
from?
know, though.
They've touted over and over again about their next gen hardware and how
And
it's
they
going
only
to be
released that
the most
video like
powerful
2 weeks
console.
ago.
It wasn't that low.
He also said
Where's
only
this
4
idea
games
that
are
they might
coming
making-
to PlayStation. So I mean, I'm not saying it's
Okay,
likely.
that's a little different. That's
I'm
a
just
little
saying I wouldn't be like absolutely
Now
shocked.
that's a straw man argument, right?
I wouldn't be like absolutely like shocked if they like, yeah, we're just gonna partner up with whoever makes
I feel
PCs.
like that's what I feel like they're gonna.
I'm not saying I
already-
think that's
you're
gonna
I'm
happen,
with you.
but
I'm
They're
with
already
you.
deep in that. They're not. The console is rumored to be coming out next year. They're not going to be some surprise partnership. They're already making the thing right now. So
Please
I
don't.
don't understand this narrative. It's
Anyway.
strange to me.
yeah, I mean,
I
I
have
wouldn't,
I
I wouldn't say
Sega
once
Saturn
is
right
a.
here.
I
There's a Hitachi version of this Sega Saturn. There's another version. Like, this is not a new thing where companies employ other hardware company or manufacturers. Fucking Nintendo has a Matsushita or Panasonic GameCube. So this is not a new. That's not a new concept.
I want that
It's-
fucking thing, man. It's so goddamn expensive.
Well, yeah, I know. So
if it
do
wasn't
I.
a GameCube, I might
It's
want
such a
it.
sexy ass machine, man.
It's so
that
beautiful.
makes it so
Yeah.
sexy.
I think it
Those
actually has
LED
an
lights,
optical
oh.
audio out too, because it's a DVD player.
It does have optical audio. Yes, it does. It's
So, but
glorious.
Terrell did hit onto something because this isn't a new thing with Xbox. Because remember the first few times I showed Crackdown, it was all about the cloud, not the cloud. Was it the cloud?
Oh,
No, it
Crackdown
was-
3.
Crackdown 3.
Crackdown 3.
The,
Oh,
the
Yeah,
power
Crackdown
of the
3
cloud,
specifically.
wasn't it?
It was the cloud
Yeah.
destruction.
They had
Yeah, the
Yeah.
cloud shit.
Oh,
they had
Because
this
of the
ambitious
environments.
ideas and showed. I guess it was more of a prototype. They probably shouldn't have been showing it back then, but that game ended up pretty lackluster and.
Well, because they didn't do any
Yeah,
of the
so
shit
you-
that they said they were going to do. They got rid of
Yeah.
most of that cloud shit.
They
The
had
problem
struggles
is-
with the Xbox One with just not just they were getting games out, but they were just not resonating. You could whether there
They
was
weren't
some
good.
bias or not, most the reception
The
on
only
the
good-
games
I'm
wasn't
agree-
very
I'm
high.
The only good games you were getting from Xbox during that time, for the most part, with a few exceptions, were games where they had just bought the studios from. And then the game was already in production. So technically it is an Xbox game by the time it came out. But they weren't games that were like built in the ground up in Xbox studios. Like that's just not how it was going on. There's a couple of exceptions, but for the most part, they were all external studios bought. The problem is that they've been on this whole we'll leave you to your own devices and you can make your own games since the Xbox One. And we're like 5 years into the Series X and you still haven't learned your fucking lesson. Like, and I think that's the part that's kind of baffling. Like, we're still doing this. Oh, they dicked around for 5 years and didn't put out a good product or a product at all. What a surprise! I'm just like, y'all been in the game. You're not like Xbox when you came out in the early 2000s. You have what 4 mainline consoles, and 2 of them you doing the same shit with, where you're just letting them do whatever they want, and then of course the fans are mad because you've essentially lied to us. It's not our responsibility to give a fuck about how you manage your company. What we're concerned about is where are the games at. Oh, you don't have them? Well, fuck you. I'm gonna go buy a PlayStation 5, or I'm gonna go get a Switch 2 or a Steam Deck. That's where we are, and it's
You ain't buying no PlayStation 5.
well, no.
So what's crazy to me
But you get my point, damn it.
Yeah, but I was thinking.
Sandstorm was trying.
Go ahead.
What's crazy to me is that like it's not like you have to look to your own company to see where the success is and where the success is not. You know what I'm saying? So like you give all these developers unlimited resources and unlimited money, and it's like you've got whatever you want. Make a beautiful painting, and they don't make anything. But then you've got other companies who have to work with limited hardware, and it's like you get what you get. Make the most out of it, and they end up making better stuff because they actually have to get creative with the stuff that they're like held down to. And Microsoft, for whatever reason, is like, that's not the way. The way is to give them everything. We gotta
in unlimited time.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I want everybody to concede to the fact, because we're talking about this. We're talking about it for a while. There's a lot of energy behind this topic.
Go ahead.
It hits a little different when Microsoft does it, because I don't remember us having a long discussion about that fucking game, that studio that Sony shuttered. $400 million.
We talked about it on multiple podcasts.
We talked about it.
Yeah.
Bunch.
I brought up Jade Raymond. I think half of you guys don't even know who that is.
I don't know anybody at the initiative. I don't know anybody's name.
I'll concede that. I'll concede that point. I'll concede to that
If
point.
it was just the one studio,
investment in there. I just
talk
to point shit out. That's
in a couple years, Robert will listen to the podcast where we talked about Concord for like half the podcast.
We talk about Concord, and we shit on them on the live service things a lot because we don't like.
I want to say one thing.
That they don't know what they're doing with their studios.
I'll say one thing. I'll say this though. I want to say one thing though. T, I will give you a point in the fact that it hits a little bit different for Xbox, but the reason also is because Xbox has probably been the least consistent in quality products for like the last decade. Like and as a result, the patience of a company fucking up becomes less and less.
I said that.
But I'm just giving my reasoning behind it. I have less patience for you when it's like, oh, Timmy, you tripped and you spilled some water on the floor. Okay, Timmy, tie your shoes next time. Timmy and he just keeps fucking doing it for like 6 months. I'm just
right. You're right. But I will say, coming from the PS4, the game, I mean, it didn't start off that great. Obviously, the first couple of years was kind of flat.
Yeah.
But it picked up, and boy, when it picked up. Like it had game after game. Right. Coming from that, and then going to the PS5. Like the energy, the quote unquote vitriol, the anger should be similar based on what you've gotten as a PS5 gamer coming off the PS4. Because I would think you would think it would be a lot more going on for your PS5 than currently is.
No, but to be fair,
coming off the PS4.
People do meme the hell out of PS5 got no games, PS5 got one game, PS5 finally has a game. Like that's a meme on the internet for like
who that?
Xbox.
No, bro, that's legit. Like that's like a meme on the internet. If you look up PS5 has one game.
But you're both right. But I will say, because Sony is still viewed as Sony's still viewed as like the people's champion in terms of hardcore gaming. Sony sometimes is allowed to get away with a little bit more fuckery than it should. I've always felt like
they don't have to.
I felt like that during the PS4. To be fair, I felt like that when it was going PS4. I'm like, y'all a little bit too chill about them only having like 3 or 4 exclusives that were worth the damn after like 3 or 4 years, and like that's the energy we were on.
Yeah.
So
they completely abandoned Japan. Right?
But see, the problem is you have a bunch of gamers who don't give a shit. And so so as a result, you get this like half-ass
anger. If they did care, now they don't care because Sony's doing that.
Yeah,
there's a lot of that shit too.
But also,
And
I mean, this just happened last week for Xbox. I mean, Sony's
I know what I don't need a timeline. I
cancellation
know when it's happening.
Concord.
I'm just saying.
We talked about it for multiple. We talked about it.
I'm not
We're
saying
not talking about it now.
Let's complain about Sony right now. I'm saying we didn't do it the same way.
I think
is what
we
I'm
did.
saying. I don't think
Yeah,
the
I think
internet
we did.
didn't do it the same way. It wasn't.
Maybe not the
You know,
internet, but I mean, we definitely
No,
talked
the
about
internet-
Concord.
We bring it up almost every podcast
No,
again.
no, I would-
I'm not saying, hey, let's talk about let's talk about the fact that Sony said, well, we'll put out one game. Maybe.
Robert's like,
We're gonna put out one game a year, maybe. That's what Sony just told.
I'm
But
telling you,
I barely heard anything about. I barely heard anything about
you
it.
just don't
oh,
see
not this, your ass.
They meme the shit out of PS5 with one game. Like this 3.7 million views, 2.7 million views, one game without this drive. We're at a game. People and I only typed in one game. I don't know why, because that is a meme, bro. People meme the shit out of the PS5, bro. About like I only bought a PS5 for one
Is
game.
it set to that song?
It is.
Yeah,
and
of
it's hilarious.
course, of
I'm
course.
curious how they interact or made it work with the
It's
song.
one game. I don't know why.
Then
I
what?
bought a PS5 with no game to try.
Yeah, that one, it actually fits perfectly. I will say
I haven't seen
PS5 has
that, to
gotten
be
more.
honest.
I'll say this, T. I don't know if you agree with this, T. I think PS5 has gotten more shit than PS4 did for its fuck ups. Like I think it's, and I think it's the same. It's the same trickle down effect. You can
PS4
fuck
didn't
up.
really deserve much. Unless again, those first couple years, PS4 didn't really deserve a lot of flack.
I mean, I felt like the only one not bashing the last State of Play for not having a bunch of Sony first party games. I mean, I've just at this
remember
point
we literally had that discussion where we were like,
I've
I was
accepted
so
like
frustrated.
it sucks, but I mean, how much more can you say about it at this point? It's like,
Well, it's either you be objective about it and say, well, you know, there's a lot of games here, or you go, well, bro, if I'm a Sony fan, I can play these games on PC if I wanted to.
It's
So what
probably
is
because every time we have this discussion, T's out on a cruise or some shit in the Bahamas.
Maybe that's what it is.
I think
You these intricate discussions about how terrible Sony's doing when I'm not here. That's crazy.
There's no joke. I remember. It can't stand in the State of Play where I was talking about. I got really fucking no lack of Sony was lack of Sony lack of Sony.
God damn.
And then talk about when we talk about the Concord, you know, we were like, Jesus, and we're like, well, I guess this whole generation is a waste because of the whole live service, and they literally no other I'm like, I kept saying, and I still say, it's like, people don't realize, but Sony owns like 25 studios, and you don't see the output of 25 studios. You just do not. And so you would never know because
they don't put out, like,
release it. You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not the consistent basis, and so it's like
I guess
I get frustrated with Sony. I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
I think the difference is Microsoft shows you all these games that are supposedly supposed to come out. Like, we got games. Hey, we finally got games. Look at y'all. We got games over here. Games are finally coming to Xbox, and Sony does not do that. They're like,
the difference is, and this is just the difference. This is the real difference. They're just more PlayStation fans than are Xbox fans. So that's why you hear. I mean, that's just what it is.
I mean, that is part of it.
The media is catering
I would
to
say,
that.
I agree.
YouTube
more
caters to that. And that's just it is what it is. That's
I'd say there's a lot more PlayStation gamers. I don't know that a lot of those PlayStation gamers I don't feel are actually like Sony fans, like
Sony
PlayStation fans. They're just they like having PlayStation to play whatever games they like to play. You know, it's just the system they have for that. I don't think there's that many passionate.
The problem is
in Europe,
I can give you
decades,
I can give you a whole community of YouTube videos to watch if you really want to get.
Oh no!
Tell me these guys aren't PlayStation dudes.
Yeah, I'm not saying they don't exist, but I don't think it's a. I think
there's
it's
a
like,
lot more.
I bet it's like
than there are.
Out of the 75 whatever million PS5s are sold. I mean, you would think a major first party Sony game would sell at least 10 million copies, but they don't.
I mean, you would think Astro probably doing crazier numbers, but that doesn't.
Like,
you know, so
I don't know about
Astrobot.
Astrobot.
PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2.
Astrobot appeals to old school Sony fans.
On Sony, on Xbox, that game was never going to do anything on them consoles anyway.
Man,
Horizon
you think
Forbidden West
75
is a
million-
surprise
but
to
you
me.
think
I think,
75 million would be
I think
fine.
old school. So I think old school Sony fans would have fucked with Astrobot more than.
I'm talking about. I'm talking about
modern-
today's.
Yeah, I don't think the current day PlayStation 5 owners are that
But
like
that's kinda
into
Sony's
Sony's
fault because-
first party
because
games. That
That's
much.
because Sony
I
curated.
said that.
Sony has curated a specific kind of fan base.
Well, yeah.
And if you don't make a game in that lane, then it's like, what the fuck is this? What am I supposed to do?
Yeah,
There's no narrative here, guys.
the
Where's the
sad
story?
dad, the sad dad third person shooter guys. That's
Well,
what
I
they
was-
I
created.
actually think
remember-
it's
I
the
was-
opposite. I think these days people care, Sony fans care way more about the exclusives than in the past. In the past, a PlayStation
But
was
the
a FIFA or a
exclusives-
GTA console.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what it
you're right. You
was.
know why? You know the evidence of that right now? It's called Helldivers being going to Xbox.
Yeah,
Like these dudes are crashing out over
because
this.
they're
I'm like,
losing. Because they're
why?
losing they lose everything to PC, and then they losing all this shit, and now they're losing it to other consoles.
they're losing a narrative for one. They're like,
Yeah,
'cause
because
all they said
it's
is
funny. It's funny. 'cause
Xbox is a
PlayStation-
dead platform. Why would Sony put Helldivers on the dead platform of Xbox?
I think the other
Don't
difference.
understand.
It's funny because they go over to they look at Nintendo and they're like, nobody cares
You
about.
might see Helldivers on Nintendo too.
Nobody
you might see
cares
that.
about exclusives, bro. And then they look at Microsoft and like, why we losing all our exclusives, bro?
The Helldivers one's kind of interesting because it's like, do they really think there's gonna be like a big surge in the user base? I
No,
mean, it's
but
not
they
a
need
free to
the-
play game, right? It's $40. I'm guessing.
They
still.
need the money. I'm a big.
But-
It's re-
but
I'm a.
They don't
not
need
a-
the money.
It'll be research.
PlayStation. They need the money. What do you mean?
No, that
No, but it's
game's
not
made
a-
a ton already.
Well, no, but it's
They
not about.
want more, obviously.
Well,
What the
they think
fuck?
Xbox. That's what I'm saying. They think Xbox is gonna suddenly bring in all these huge numbers. If you look at the,
Listen, I think this is a.
Why are they doing it, Juice? That's what I'm asking.
that's what I said. Why are they?
putting
Why are they?
the
What do they
game
think is
on
gonna
a-
happen?
dead platform?
They're gonna
Well,
make money.
to be
That's what I
fair,
think is gonna happen.
Robert Smith.
Holman Hurst himself said that majority of the money comes from the microtransactions now, not the.
Yeah, of
sales.
course. Yeah.
And
Most
they-
companies, that's
What
That's-
they
they just
want,
want-
they want more addicts. They want more people addicted to buying the
Yeah.
because
I just wonder how many like.
So if you have
like-
another platform of addicts,
you can't ignore 30,
Another
35
problem-
million people. I mean, is it 75 million? No, it's still 30.
I thought it was-
35 million
I thought it
people.
was still in the 20s.
if they view it, think about it. You could view it.
Well, we don't know. We don't have hard numbers because that's.
But even still, I'm
But
just
the
thinking,
estimates were-
just looking at the percentage of users on when a game launches, like a multi-plat, and it's like 11%, 10%, 8%, or like Xbox versus.
It is low, yeah.
So
But,
just,
but
Square- Square did it too. Square was like, all right, we got to go to Xbox too. Why they do that? If it's
Yeah, but
dead,
you
I don't.
gotta-
Because
I-
they didn't make it. They didn't make enough. They didn't make it.
I'm
They
confused.
invested too. Well, that was also a different ploy.
and
They
that's not a
wanted-
microtransaction game, by the way. That is
and
not.
if it sells,
Final Fantasies are not microtransaction
No,
games.
they
So-
wanted to get. I genuinely believe Square wanted to get bought. They wanted to get bought by Sony, and they didn't do it. And now it's like fuck. We didn't. We wasted
Well, they-
all this money, and so now everything's multi-plat.
well, 16 they didn't care enough about to make a decent port. It runs at 720p native on Series X.
They
so
weren't
They
trying to
put
make, they were just
nothing
trying to make
into it.
money. They wanted. Well,
I'm
that
just-
was 16 is just was a
Okay.
bad choice of a
So-
game, but
Then why even do
general.
it? Like I'm confused.
Because they need
Been
the
saying-
money.
yeah, that's the
obviously.
question.
It's still gonna
I
be
don't
like-
think.
But if the game isn't going to be sell, especially if it's a bad port, why
How
do it?
many copies do you think like they want sold on the Xbox to make
I'm
it worth
sure
it?
they would be happy with
I
like
think they'd be happy with a mill.
Yeah.
a mil.
I don't think
was
there's
gonna
any
say
chance of a
100,000.
mil.
I was gonna say maybe 100,000.
So I'm saying I'm thinking like
You don't
500,000.
spend the
Oh,
money to
so-
port that. You don't spend the money to port that shit for no 100,000. What is this? 2006? That ain't getting you nothing.
100,000.
100,000 ain't getting you shit.
Why
Agreed.
2006?
I'm sorry.
That's
I
what
just
I'm-
can't- that popped in my head for some reason.
I'm more
I know.
saying that I'm more asking
Actually,
the
it should
question.
be more like 2002.
I'm more
I-
asking the
I
question:
think
why
there's
are they doing? Like,
zero
what do they
chance that
think?
A million will cross.
Well, I wonder what their
for-
expectations are. Is basically what I'm saying for Helldivers 2. I wonder what their expectations for people who buy the game on Xbox.
I think it's what
Is-
Robert
Helldiver's
says.
Final
They want
Fantasy.
to they want a few extra addicts, and that's already going to be worth it for them.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah,
Wait.
I think it's
Wait.
more than just about what they're gonna get from that game alone. I think it's a future.
Maybe
thing
it's
to look into
maybe
the
it's a
future.
testing ground
as
to
well.
see what kind of
Well,
what kind
these aren't
of
like these aren't the only Sony titles that have been like that's not the only Sony title that has been on competing platforms. They've been slowly doing that more and more recently. And it's mainly because they can't really afford, and part of it's their own fault for fucking up their money. They fucked up their money, and now they're trying to recoup. But I think this is going to become more and more of a thing, which is why I think I said before, Nintendo's going to get burned retroactively with this, because essentially Sony and Microsoft are just going to be on third party in terms of like
exactly.
everything.
They're doing it for the same reason Microsoft is doing it. So Microsoft was way far ahead of it, and people forget about that leaked thing that came out about their future business plan. It was exactly what Microsoft is doing right. People forget about that for some reason.
So
they're doing it because the gaming market is not growing. It's not growing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they have to reach more players.
They need to reach more players, but they still want to make the same kind of games they've been making. So as a result, in order to fill these budgets that have gotten worse and worse, we need more avenues of revenue. And
so Astrobot is going to be on Switch. I said this a while ago.
No, I would co-sign that.
Astrobot is going to be on Nintendo Switch too.
That would be the
guy.
No, they're going to crash out. The fans are going to crash out.
Oh, yeah. You can't crash out because you ain't buy the motherfuckers. You can't be too mad because you bitches didn't buy the game.
We're gonna do.
I just think I see it more of a.
One game of all time.
They're gonna have to strip out some features, some power ups in that game to use without the adaptive triggers and stuff. So it'd be interesting if they did it, what they would do.
It
ain't as hard as you probably think it is.
And it's probably worth it for them because if any fan base would play the shit out of that game, it'd be Nintendo fans.
Play the shit out of it.
So
if you're a Nintendo fan and you haven't played a game by Team Asobi, you haven't played, boy, you in for a treat.
You got to remember, Juice.
I learned a long time ago.
Like, these are all optional stuff. Like the adaptive triggers are optional. You don't.
That's right. You could disable them.
Just
anyway, Helldivers 2 has currently got 36,000 in game on PC. It peaked at 450,000. So even if they gained an extra 100,000, I guess on Xbox, that's
money. It's
reinvigorating.
Were you talking about Final Fantasy for 100,000 or a million?
Yeah, Final Fantasy 16 especially. They wanted that game to do like 10 million.
Yeah, I bet they're hoping to do like a million on Xbox. I just don't know if that's feasible.
I'm not saying they're going to get a million. I'm just saying they're reporting it thinking they're going to get at least 1 million.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see like even you put Helldivers on another platform, then even people who kind of stop playing the game might get reinvigorated for a little bit, and that's be interesting to see.
More money. It's more money.
Does that have a date?
Is a situation that
I don't know. I don't think we get. Isn't it August? I thought it was August.
Yeah, it comes out the same day as Gears. And it's that same day as Gears Reloaded.
I forgot that Gears is a thing.
But the whole
at this point, it's their last thing. God damn it, it's their last thing at this point. God damn.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the other thing. I brought this up last week.
For Helldivers.
What Microsoft games that have come out this year are coming out this year? I mean, obviously Call of Duty after the acquisition, but
Tony Hawk.
Self of Midnight.
That has come
Avowed.
Yeah, Avowed. Yeah.
And about to be Tony Hawk.
That's a pretty good opening for the year there.
I know, but you got that, and then the Gears remake or whatever is like the main remake. Microsoft game. It's like the
Doom.
Doom
Dark Ages.
Yeah, Doom Dark Ages.
I was thinking
that's good enough for a year.
That's good I was thinking like Microsoft's like non-acquisition studios.
Well, no, but
what's left of it?
Like the core. I was thinking like the basic, Microsoft Studios stuff.
That shit's been shot.
It's Microsoft Studios. That's their first party.
There is no. The acquisition studios are the main studios.
Yeah.
Half the reason why they got Bethesda and Activision and shit was just hey, now we are consistent game release because we ain't making shit over here. Like that. That's what it was. Xbox it's crazy to me that in 2025 we have a game console manufacturer
who can't make games. Fuckers can't make games. So they did? You know what they did? They bought people who could make games, and that's what Xbox is now. That's what they did. That's what they've been doing. We've been doing that since the beginning. Halo Who they body did that? Oh yeah, Bungie. Motherfucker, they've been doing that shit from day one. That's what
I
they do.
I gotta ask. Why
Remember Rare
no,
used to be a Nintendo studio? Remember that?
Huh?
Harold, I gotta ask. Why did you pour the water?
Don't
into
ask
the-
questions. Don't ask me questions. Don't ask me questions.
I didn't see it.
Don't worry about it. I know what he's
That's
asking
all
me,
right.
though.
It's on stream though. He can get it back.
Yeah, it's pre-recorded. Don't worry about it.
I'm curious.
There was no reason. I'm be real with you. I wanted to drink it through the straw. That was the short version.
That's I figure like, is it just because of the straw?
Yeah, it's literally because of the straw. Thank you for busting me out in 4K on the goddamn stream.
We're not in
sir.
4K.
Jesus.
I just be curious. I be seeing. I'm like, what's he doing?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. No, but
Mixing it up like.
I thought he was making like a drink. Right
no, I wouldn't do that on stream. Nah, I wouldn't admit to it anyway.
And then making that sauce.
So
The special sauce. That's where we're at. That's where we're at in the gaming industry. By the way.
so Robert, you're getting Bonanza. You're playing it right away. You said.
I will play right away. Yeah.
I didn't pre-order it because
That's three
Walmart
games
didn't
this
have
year
like
that I'm
guaranteed
playing
day and date.
Day one.
Walmart
Bad
wouldn't guarantee
without
release date
principles.
delivery, so I'm just gonna go there. But it will
Yeah, I
be.
pre-ordered it
I got it from
only because
GameStop.
I forgot my wife let me know that, hey, you got to use that $100 gift card from Christmas. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh shit.
So I got the amiibo.
It's
and the
easier,
fucking
yeah. It's
game.
easier to spend $100 when it's a gift card someone gave you.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
amiibo? That amiibo's
best type
overpriced,
of-
but I'm getting it.
Listen. The best type of money is other people's money. Okay.
I find it's easier to
the
spend,
best type of
like to
money.
buy. If I was buying, like, let's say I knew one of you guys really wanted the Donkey Kong amiibo. I'm not gonna pay $30 for an amiibo for myself. But if I was giving it as a
Well, I probably
gift,
wouldn't
I don't
buy
even
it,
think twice about it. I'd just buy it.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have bought that if I had to pay my own money.
At least the Street Fighter ones are like 3 times the size, like total volume of the little like
Yeah, they
Riju.
still don't fit on the fucking base.
It's the tariffs juice. The tariffs.
Yeah, there was a $10 increase, but even at 20, like the Breath of the Wild ones, they're tiny. Like they're like
Yeah, there are.
it's like here's my launch. The new ones feel like they're about 3/4 the height of the old amiibos.
really?
Just
Except for the what's the fucking thing called? I never can remember.
the Guardian.
Guardian, yeah.
That was huge.
Guardian was
Like
pretty nice.
my Zelda Breath of the Wild, that's the last one I bought. I'm like, this thing is tiny. It was $16 at the time. Like, she is like half the size of some of these other amiibos. Like this Ganondorf, she's literally like half the volume of like Matt. Like it's just crazy how small those
I mean,
guys.
the last one I bought was the Link's Awakening one. That was like literally like a month ago or something. It's a pretty chunky one.
Yeah, they're
It's
definitely.
Awakening?
Yeah, the Link's Awakening remake one.
Yeah.
I probably don't have that one.
He's like, oh.
All right, let me get on.
I kinda- honestly-
I want him to reach into the void. Oh.
I wish I would have
got
waited.
enough fucking amigos. I got way more than I should have.
I wish I
same,
would have
same.
waited to play Link's Away. I played it leading up to the Switch just to fill some time, and I mean, I didn't think it was that bad of an experience. The frame drops were not as frequent as Echoes of Wisdom, where it was like constant. So I don't.
Yeah.
But Echoes of Wisdom, that would have been nice to play like on the Switch
Such an
too.
amazing game. Such a cool
Too
game.
bad for you.
But, Yeah. Anyway,
I haven't finished that bitch yet, so I can go back and finish it.
tears, save tears. I'm in a little bit of a funk because, like I said, I've been reading a lot, and now I'm started this ripping all my
fucking
movie
gross.
collection to a NAS server. So that just been spending a lot of time doing that stuff, and I was like, man, I haven't played Expedition probably in 3 weeks now.
I just finished Act 2 last what was it? Saturday night, man.
And you're way ahead of me. I think that game, for people who said it's like pretty short, not your typical. I'm like, what the hell? I got like 30 hours and I barely have half the map, and I'm still on chapter 2. How many?
I'm with you, Ayers. Ayers said he's shocked that there's no special edition Bonanza stuff. Where are the yellow Joy-Cons and the
I don't
banana
need it.
Joy-Con
I don't
and
need
the
it right
banana
now.
controllers? And where's that stuff?
No.
I
Listen
used
to me.
too early.
Listen to me. Do you want to spend the extra money? I don't want to do it.
Too early.
I do. Like
I don't want to do it.
Where's my jungle green Switch
No,
2 at,
fine.
man?
I'm fine.
They could have
I'm
had
fine. I'm
Joy-Cons
fine.
be banana shaped. Banana.
Bro,
I don't
I'm
think
not
we're
trying
gonna
to
get a
spend-
lot of variations I don't know.
Even
Nah,
a
but-
banana grip. Can I get a
no.
banana grip? Just a grip. Can I get a
Whoa.
banana grip?
Whoa.
Oh wait.
That's not kind of crazy.
Sandstorm's eyes went big there.
This
It's like
podcast-
bananas.
I'm gonna get the
Banana.
I just need a banana grip.
Stop.
So anyway, I was gonna say after all that, like,
A while ago.
I thought the direct was awesome, but now I'm back. Like now my excitement level's back down where I'm not like, I could pick it up. I couldn't. I just kind of indifferent on it right now.
The fact that it's the 3D Mario team doesn't excite you at all.
Has that been 100% confirmed?
Yeah, it has
Can we
been.
get a banana?
It's
Can we get a
so weird,
yellow?
like,
It has been confirmed. Put that shit
including
down, bro.
Mario
Oh, is it
team
yellow?
Put that shit down,
It's
dog.
just-
Stop playing with me.
I'm just like not in the gaming like mind right now. I guess.
It's like the robot is like crazy. I don't understand.
What are
it.
you even doing?
It's like you have like the Donkey Kong
That
trailer,
shit
which is
look together.
amazing.
Look
You
how
know?
good.
I'm blaming
Other
Microsoft
people
for
who
Juice's
wouldn't care
phone,
about
by the way.
game unless you like know it's from the Mario team. I don't understand what it changes about the game you've already seen
What does
anyway.
that change? We're talking. I love
Changes
artists,
nothing.
right? You love artists. I love knowing that the team that worked on my favorite games of all time is working on another game. That's
Yeah,
that
but,
simple.
what I'm saying is, who is looking at this trailer like, man, this is a shit game. I need to play this.
Hey, man,
Wait,
listen,
it's from a
buddy.
Mario team. Now I want to
Who
play
said
it.
that?
It
Did
went
I say
from
that?
It went from
No,
Robert
you
playing
don't
it in a
fucking
few
say it.
years to him
That's
playing
why I
it at
asked
launch.
If it doesn't change
Yeah, people
anything.
were
for
hating
you.
on,
Listen.
Bonanza
I-
For
before.
some
before
artists, it
the-
does that. When I pull on Spotify or I hit Apple Music and I hit next, I'm like, man, this guy's rapping really good. And then I turn the cover over and I see it's Trevor. I'm like, oh shit! Man, it's the experience 100 times better. God damn it!
Exactly. Thank you, Terrell, for that support.
It's funny. You know what's funny? You came up on my shuffle yesterday morning when I was driving to work.
Oh yeah. Nice.
It was how fast a dollar goes.
Nice. That's
That's
cool.
good. It's one of your better songs.
So
but,
Robert,
tell
you were
you-
going.
Appreciate
If it wasn't the
Sure.
3D Mario team, would you be playing it on whatever day that comes out next week?
It'd be tough. I probably still would because the direct was amazing and
Well, yeah.
like I love.
I think the
the
direct
platform
kind of
stuff.
showed a lot of people that it's probably the 3D Mario team.
But
But
like
I
the
feel-
trailer
I
itself,
feel Robert is
I was sold on the trailer itself, but I was like, to guarantee me to play that day one, I want to see if it's the developers that I love. I don't think that's like how is that crazy?
not crazy at
Retro?
all.
It's like
What I
it's
think
like-
is worse is that you're a man of weak principles. You shouldn't be allowed to play this game for like 4
That-
years.
has nothing
That's
to do with
correct.
principles. That's my
I
own
know that's-
fucking
I know
rules.
that's
just
That's my own rules.
That's
Yeah, but say you gotta understand that's the hater inside of him because he can't play the game.
what
right
if
now.
Retro Death? What if you saw?
It's
That's just
literally
Salt
my
Bay.
own
That's
rules.
Salt Bay.
It is Salt Bay.
It's my own rules. It's my own craziness. It has
No,
nothing to do with-
Robert.
no
He's
smoke,
jealous.
no-
Robert,
Because-
he's jealous of your ability to play it at all.
Yeah, that's
right.
true.
That's true.
I will say
I'd
the
rather
difference
play this
is
than African Safari. I'm sure Crockett would too. I'm sure Crockett will be happy that you're playing a new game, a good game.
the difference is you could see the trailer, but knowing it's the 3D Mario team, you know that trailer there's still stuff that's gonna blow your mind well beyond what we've seen.
Oh yeah.
If that wasn't the 3D Mario team, it might be the best they showed, and there's not.
That felt so Odyssey. It felt so Odyssey to me. I was
Yeah,
loving it.
obviously I felt that, but it was just like I wanted to know. Like again, we're talking about the team that made some of my favorite games of all time. How
Of all
does that
time.
not make me more hype?
Yeah, it's like
I just don't understand. How is it that what's wrong with you, Richard? It's so simple to understand.
What's wrong
if it was the
with you is
team
a
that made
crazy line.
Darksiders 2 making a game you thought looked cool, you're not gonna be
I
more
feel like-
excited to find out it was the team that made Darksiders 2. Like,
No, because I follow all these teams. I know the games they make.
Uh-huh.
They sometimes make
What if you
games I
didn't
don't
know?
give a shit about.
what if you didn't know?
What if you didn't know?
No, because
don't
I
care
don't
if
even
it was
look at
the-
the games I don't care
If you
about.
saw a
If
pretty
I already
cool-
care about the game, it doesn't matter.
You saw a cool looking trailer and you're like, oh, that game looks cool, and then a month later they're like, yeah, it's the main team that made Darksiders 2. You're not gonna be like, oh wow,
Like,
now I'm
oh,
even more
shit.
interested. You're gonna be like,
Feel
oh, same
more
level,
confident. You feel
same
more
level.
confident in
No,
your.
I don't believe
that's
you.
fine
Say
with
it,
bro.
it's already-
Why do you
but then
think
like
people
you
are
said,
asking
you
for
already
Retro
guys
Team's
did.
name?
I feel like y'all don't understand. Retro is just this is what retro does. Don't put yourself in this
And man,
trap.
he's staking his ground out. It don't matter what you say, goddammit. He's gonna stay right where he at.
Yeah.
You're not moving in.
Retro is never fully right. He either says the right shit for the wrong reasons or the wrong shit for the right reasons. And either way, I'm just like, All right,
Bro,
Richard, you got it,
let me
King.
tell you something,
You
Richard.
got it. You got it.
When I sit in the movie theater and I watch a trailer and I see a theater, I'm watching a trailer for a movie, and then the A24 logo pops up. I'm like, I'm watching it. I don't even. It doesn't. I'm like, I'm watching it. I don't even need to see the rest of the trailer. I know I'm going to watch this because I'm excited by who's releasing the damn movie. It's just the same thing with anything.
If I see a movie come up and I'm like, oh, this is interesting, and it says Christopher Nolan, I'm like, yeah. If it says Chris Columbus, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to watch that shit.
I want you to give a fuck.
I feel way more
I want you to give the most fucks. Is that my boy Chris? Christopher? Let's go! Sailing the 7 seas. Let's get it, man.
You know, if I see a cool looking movie and I'm like, that looks pretty cool. And it's like, oh, from the entire crew that made Kill Bill. I'm like, all right, I'm definitely going to the theater to see that day one, right? Right, Retro?
Well, I would be opposite on that one.
I know, that's why I mentioned it. The stunt team that did, you know, whatever. John Wick 1 is doing another action movie. You know, you're gonna get more excited. Doesn't mean it's gonna be great.
The same team
Right, it could suck ass, but you feel better about going to see it.
Unlike,
I mean, do you think Death Stranding would be as big as it is if it wasn't a Hideo Kojima game? You know what I mean? Like,
oh, absolutely. You're absolutely right.
Nobody would care about that.
Notoriety is what makes that game worth anything.
People go to these things, and that's just with everything.
I felt that way about
I just think in this specific moment,
I mean,
that is just drawn out of
about what?
where you have a 3D Donkey Kong that everybody already loved. I feel nobody's gonna be like, I don't want to play this shit, and then they're like, 3D Mario.
No one said they weren't going to play it. They just.
No,
but what I'm asking is, because you literally said in this podcast now, Juice, but it's the 3D Mario team. Now you don't care? You literally said that to him earlier.
I knew it was going to happen.
I don't remember.
I don't know the context of that one.
I knew it was going to happen.
You're making it sound too loose. You're making it sound too. There's probably.
It is the Juice to lose, man. What do you mean?
Who said what now?
Now I'm misunderstanding the literal words you said.
Okay, no, but what did Juice say?
I just said that my like getting it day one excitement has dropped since the direct.
And Robert's response was, but even for the 3D Mario team.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
well,
God.
Retro. Okay, let me break it down for you. There was a great.
Juice is a Mario fan, though. What the fuck?
No. There was a great direct that he enjoyed, and he thought it was a really good direct. And now to add on top of the excitement is now finding out.
No, see, because now you add on top of the excitement. Juice said he barely cared anymore, really. Like all his excitement was kind of gone.
Yeah, he did say that. He did say that.
In my mind, I'm thinking it would maybe build up an excitement, not
so
go
you're
down.
putting your mind in Juice's mind.
Well,
that's
here's
not
the
what
thing.
I was reacting to.
And somebody's saying, another person saying it's not confirmed to be the Odyssey. I think it is, but
it was confirmed.
No, it is. It absolutely.
Here's the
is
thing.
confirmed, to be honest. We're not doing
watch the direct. I was at a 10.
I don't need to be confirmed. You look at the goddamn game.
The next time I watched the direct, I got reinvigorated. It's been a couple weeks. I've been doing other stuff. I'm not really thinking about gaming. It has nothing to do with the quality of the game or who's making it. It's just like, just not in that gaming mode. If I watched the direct right now, I bet you I'd be get excited again. It's just I haven't been thinking about it. I even forgot it was coming out soon. You know, I've just been distracted. Kind of basically my perspective, but yeah, it'd be interesting because. Multiple people saying that it's not confirmed to be the Odyssey team. It looks like it is.
Well,
you're gonna make me go get the article, aren't you?
The direct and the belief that it's the Odyssey team definitely helped excitement. Because I watch multiple like Nintendo YouTubers. Yeah, it looks cool, but I want to see more. Blah blah blah. They didn't really, I'll probably play it and blah blah blah. Their whole mood changed after
Sounds
that
like
direct.
Some Nintendo shit to me.
And I'm like, oh man, you gotta give people some kind. You gotta give them some kind of slack. Like for me, even me, like my thing was new 3D Donkey Kong. That's all. We're done. I got it. I'm buying it, right? But yeah, it didn't look overly exciting, the gameplay that they showed. But they blew it out, obviously in the direct, and again, I thought they confirmed that it was the 3D Mario team.
I'm about to go grab it home.
This is specifically for when they
finally confirmed right there.
Hands-on event in a presentation attended by IGN ahead of a new Donkey Kong Bonanza hands-on preview. Nintendo said that the same staff who worked on Odyssey also developed this new.
Okay, Ayers, I gotta call Ayers out because for years he's been making statements as if he has inside information, and it always revolved around the 3D Mario team, it was Bowser's Fury back in the day. Oh, that's just the handheld division team. Is it been confirmed? Do they have? Maybe they had a team that made some handheld games, but those that don't exist anymore. Those teams, I'm assuming, with the joining of all the studios, there isn't a handheld team anymore. Like Bowser's Fury might not have been the full force of the team, but it was the 3D Mario team worked on it. I mean, I don't know how. I'm just asking Ayers, where's your information? Where you keep saying this stuff for years, you've been acting and talking like you know this stuff.
You ain't got the answers.
Do you have a source?
You ain't got the answers.
Or are you speculating? I'm just curious
Uncle
at this
works
point.
for Nintendo. He already said that.
You said what?
Uncle. The uncle for Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
The early '90s, my uncle at Nintendo.
I honestly hope it's another internal team, as it would mean we have another really good dev team creating 3D platformers. I mean,
I get the idea that you'd want that, but I don't. It is what it is, man. I don't know what to tell you.
It just the way he phrases stuff, it's almost like it's factual, not just speculation.
It's like you were firing somebody, Robert. Damn.
No, it's true. Like I get the idea.
Caesar
like,
says
hey,
that says it's not confirmed if you read that article.
So what? Read it again.
What?
That's what Caesar's saying.
Oh my God! Where did you see that now?
It says the team is at
The same article he says.
Tell you what, I'm confirming it because my eyes saw.
That's what the eyes look like it was.
Watching the game.
The only team in Kyoto that are Kyoto. How you say Kyoto that we know?
Article, I looked at Kyoto. That
man tried to call
Kyoto
Coyote.
Well, I was Kyoto. I don't know why. I almost said crypto at first from the Superman trailers.
What the?
God damn. Oh, I thought you were talking about cryptocurrency.
No, the dog.
God dang. Which
And
is
I
fair to
don't know.
Crypto the dog, by the
Look,
way.
in the end of the day, I showed you from people that were talking to Nintendo, said the developer behind Odyssey worked on DK Bonanza. You need to provide an article that says no.
You need to
not
provide the proof to the
I
alternative.
hate to break it to you, but you have to bring up something. I brought something. You have to bring something.
No. See, first of all, it would be really terrible journalism to put that as your headline. And not have it. You know how they do it? They save themselves a little question mark. There's no question mark. They're saying definitively it is confirmed.
Do you think the director and the producer
they're saying
will be the same?
Let's see another one. Let's see another one.
Look up
These
the
are another
Odyssey.
bunch of liars. Let's see these other
Another
liars.
bunch of liars.
As revealed to us at a
Christ.
recent Bonanza hands-on event, we know for sure that Nintendo EPD is behind this one, or more specifically, the Super Mario Odyssey team. Again, they said the Super Mario Odyssey team.
It's just the handheld team, Robert. It's just the handheld team.
But
Who are they, Robert?
look, I'm waiting.
It's their pronouns. Fuck you, Retro.
I'm waiting for the article to send me that says no, they were not from Kyoto, and they were actually from Oregon, and they just happened to work outside of them and worked on Mario Odyssey's title screen. That's what I'm waiting for. If it doesn't have that,
God damn.
You have to beat the game. You're gonna have to look at the producers and directors.
From Oregon.
Let's look up the Mario Odyssey. Who's
The
the
way you said
director?
Oregon killed me.
Yeah, Oregon. What the fuck?
I thought you were gonna say origami.
Sounds like a fucking Power Rangers robot.
I
Like,
thought it was
what the
Koizumi. It was
fuck?
Koizumi must have been the producer. And we haven't seen Koizumi for years. I mean, he was like the face of the Switch, and then he went like
He
he's
went to
not
sleep?
been shown for years. So I have a feeling he's
Man
been
going to
working.
work. Oh, well, you working? You ain't
So
got
Super
time
Mario
to
Odyssey was directed by Kenta Motokura.
Never mind.
let's see. Here's another bunch of liars. So we got these other people.
God dang, God.
Robert's phone is
Eurogamer says this in the words of Nintendo itself. So you cannot trust Nintendo, by the way.
They're
But
just
from
copying each
Nintendo
other's
themselves.
articles, Robert.
Hold on. So in the words of Nintendo's themselves, aka you cannot trust this.
But
the
all these
development team
articles
of
are
Donkey
sourcing
Kong
this.
Bonanza is the same as for Super Mario Odyssey.
They're probably all going off the same report.
Yeah, they're all sourcing the same report. So
No. These are different because they all went hands-on. So literally,
It's
when they went
gamer
hands-on,
news, Robert.
they all
They're
asked the
copying
question,
the
each
same
one of them
blog.
asked-
Gamers can't be trusted to tell
Well,
them.
Initially, they
I'm
weren't
guessing-
answering that question.
I'm guessing the Nintendo person was telling them.
So
was that, hey, by the way,
Really? 'Cause-
this is the.
why wouldn't
That's
the 3D
surprising.
Land team make Odyssey? I don't understand that. Unless it was factually a different totally different team confirmed. I don't. Why wouldn't the Mario team make a 3D Mario
the,
game for
dude,
the
the
3DS?
3D Land team was Odyssey team.
Yeah, they're the same team. Like that was the unique thing about Nintendo and why their fucking handhelds always did better than everybody else. So I was just short because they didn't treat it like it was a handheld. They treated it like it
Koizumi
was just
produced
another
the
console.
game.
Yeah, like that was
EAD
the thing
Tokyo.
that Nintendo always did.
The director was Koichi Hayashida. Yeah.
What console is Metroid 2 on? The fucking Game Boy. Like they didn't treat that shit like it was different. They treated. That's why the games were always better.
Yeah,
they put their big teams.
Air's
on
been
those
saying
games.
this stuff for years, like the literal probably 10 years now. It's like it's the 3D
I thought that
Land
was
team.
a known entity.
It might not have been like as long of a development cycle, and they might have worked on it simultaneously with 3D
Now
World.
Ash is gonna do like all
It may
this
not have been the
semantics.
entire team. It may have been.
I'm gonna say he's gonna play semantics. Well, only 99 of the 100 people are making this game, so it's not the whole team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like saying what's that game?
So 3D Land and 3D World had the same producer and
Grounded
director.
ain't made by Obsidian. Or...
No, really, Juice? No way.
3D Land and 3D World had the same director and same producer.
No way, that's impossible, Juice.
Like maybe the team, maybe there's a separate group that said, "Hey, you 20 people, you're gonna work on 3D Land, and you 50 people are gonna work on 3D World."
So what happened to that handheld team? Did they just get fired?
And by the way, the same thing that happened with Donkey Kong Bonanza happened with a little game called Super Mario 3D World, where we saw the first trailer. We were excited for it. It was a new 3D Mario game, all of us, but we didn't get really excited until that second trailer came out, and it really blew the game out. I was like, oh, and music, and yeah, they started playing that big band music in the background. That's when we all got super excited. Like we were still excited, but we were over the moon.
Let's see who made Mario Galaxy 2.
Do you think that team got fired, like the handheld team? What happened? So they worked on Bowser's Fury, then nothing else again.
It's not like they were Xbox.
Yeah,
so
they merged with the Switch when the Switch came out.
Was Galaxy 2 the secondary team?
Into...
Was Galaxy 2 the handheld team because that was made directed by the same guy as 3D Land and 3D World, and produced by Koizumi.
No way, are you serious? Oh my god.
By the EAD Tokyo team.
It's almost like it's the same team.
Sorry,
crazy, bro.
Anyway.
That's crazy, bro.
Man, yeah, leave my boy.
I just finally had to add. He's the #1 chat contributor. Appreciate it.
No, I mean, look,
all these years.
Good. That's what's good about this whole ranking system. It makes people want to fucking put more or chat more,
and it makes it stand out more when I look.
Stand out more.
Sorry, Donnie, you've been too far back. I haven't been reading your chat because you're not top 3.
Yeah, man, you gotta chat more.
You know, in the end of the day, the 3D Mario team, as we've always said, has always been the 3D Mario team since the beginning of its inception.
I mean, Miyamoto had more of a role early on.
Yeah,
Sunshine was let's see who the
Sunshine
Sunshine team was.
Staff. You know, you're gonna have a newer staff. You're gonna have older staff, like like any other thing. But predominantly the people that were there have been working. I mean, a lot of these Nintendo developers stay for 20 years and stuff. So
they say
Koizumi directed Sunshine.
Years.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. He did. Yeah,
that's crazy. What?
Yeah,
Who did the Game Boy stuff?
Maybe Super Mario or Super Mario Land.
Doesn't
2.
Koizumi go back to like fucking a Link to
Let's see Super Mario Land 2 director.
What's the remake?
It means
Link's
Robert's
Awakening.
already full of shit. He doesn't get excited.
Oh, look at the director of Super Mario Land 2.
Man,
Listen to this.
Oh, someone new?
The director of Super Mario Land 2
shit.
is the director of Super Mario Odyssey.
No.
Or wait,
You're
Super
lying.
Mario, sorry, Galaxy, 3D World, 3D Land. It's the I don't know how to say his name.
It's the same guy.
Maybe maybe that is a different guy. 3D Land.
No, this is a different.
Mario Land 2 was a different guy. Sorry.
I was gonna say that's pretty
Hosokawa. Yeah, he's different. Sorry, it looked the same at first glance.
Oh,
so finally,
man.
we found a handheld team.
What did they do with these guys?
We found a handheld team.
Link's
That's
Awakening,
handheld
the,
team.
original,
That was
the
the
original.
handheld team.
That was
So
definitely
you
Was
like
haven't
that-
had
was
a,
that-
a
was that
Mario
Koizumi?
handheld team. Oh, I don't know.
Link's
You
Awakening
haven't, you haven't
game
had a
director.
Mario handheld team in literally decades. That means.
Game Boy
That's
Advance.
crazy.
Tezuka. Or
Kazuka.
yeah, Takashi.
Takashi. Okay.
Yeah, he directed
Is it
Link's Awakening.
is it Takahashi or
Takashi Tezuka is what it sounds like. So
Takashi
anyway, we
Tezuka,
learned
okay.
a lot here. They got
No,
good.
but I mean, look, shout out to Ayers. He's a full-time supporter. I ain't trying to trash it.
No,
but
I
it's
ain't
just,
no
you know,
hate,
it's-
no malice. I'm
We all
just
do
was,
it.
I finally was just like, all right, do you know
This is good
something?
fun.
Do you know
It's just
something we
hilarious.
don't know?
It's funny. It's funny shit. Yeah.
So yeah, with that, I think we can call it a day. Hopefully, be watching a movie tomorrow called Sinners. Made a quick
Oh, I
turnaround.
just watched it yesterday, man.
Made a
That's
So
quick
you were
turnaround.
waiting on it. Was it quick?
It just was like a month
mean,
ago. It was like in theaters, people raving about
It's
it.
been a few months.
I
It's been a
watched
few
it
months.
yesterday. 2 months.
It came
Yeah,
out
2
in
months.
a couple
Well,
of
April,
months.
that's
I
the
think.
thing. Is like nowadays
2
that's
months,
considered
and I'll
long.
be like have a physical copy 2 months after it was like a.
Yeah, but
box
nowadays
office
that's
hit.
considered pretty long, man.
It's
2 months,
crazy,
I feel
though,
Two
like-
months is like because it's like 30 fucking days.
No
or
wonder
something
they
now.
don't have
60
a
days.
second life
crazy.
anymore. Before you go a year and you're like, oh shit, Sinners is out. Oh yeah, I want to watch that again. Now it's 2 months later. People aren't like super anxious to rewatch a movie 2 months afterwards.
Yeah.
Jurassic
Yeah.
Park was a year and a half. It came out June of '93, and the VHS
Jeez.
came out October of '94. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember waiting for that like impatiently. It felt like it was never going to come out.
Who made that producing comment? I want you to know, Steven Spielberg also produced The Lost World and Jurassic Park.
He
You
directed
know?
the Lost World.
The Lost
Yeah,
World he directed, and he produced.
So how,
Jurassic Park
Robert?
2.
How was Jurassic World Rebirth?
What?
Yeah,
Robert
yeah,
said it ain't
really.
good. God
Yeah,
damn,
How
it's
was that
trash.
family
It was,
storyline that wasn't shown in the trailer whatsoever? Or
Did
even
you like
hinted
it?
at?
I watched
very
it too. Did
disappointed.
you like it? Yeah.
I was very disappointed.
I felt the same.
I thought it was okay. And for
It's-
as a big Jurassic fan, you know that was.
It's got
that's
decent
the
audience
first-
scores. I think it's like 70 Rotten Tomato.
And
The trailer
it had
makes me
good
think it's
points.
just Jurassic Park 3 again.
It had good points,
Literally the
but
same story.
Hey, Jurassic
They
Park 3
didn't-
is a guilty pleasure for me.
honestly, this movie-
You know,
I ain't gonna lie, like this movie, I did cry because they played the main theme and stuff. but like in the,
you fell for that
But-
marketing bullshit. God damn.
well, no, it's not even marketing. It's good music. I'm gonna cry whenever I hear
No,
it.
no,
but
it's
just-
marketing. It's to get you to have the feels and shit.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
worked.
no, I had the feels, of course, but it was
And it
it was
worked.
okay. In the end of the day,
It's
It
like
didn't
when
deserve.
Rogue
Here's the
One-
thing. It didn't earn that shit. Is what I'm trying to say. It didn't earn to give you the feels and shit. It didn't earn
Yeah.
it.
That's
what
why
I'm saying.
people think Rogue One was a good fucking movie because Darth
Oh,
Vader
man,
is
those-
after 10
No,
Actually, my
man,
least favorite part
No,
is the
man,
Darth
man,
Vader
you
scene.
can't- No, don't do that. Don't do that around here.
That movie.
You can't talk about
My least
Rogue
favorite
One
part
around
is
here,
the
man.
Darth Vader scene because it so doesn't go. If you watch the next movie right after, it's like he was just like doing all that. Now he's just like walking to it and
He
just
slowly walks in.
barking
he goes,
orders. Like to me, that felt like the most desperate fan service thing. Like to me, that
It
brings.
was such a fan film. It was such a fan film. That
But
movie.
I really do like the. I don't. Some of the
Remember
characters.
Jyn Erso, Robert? Remember Jyn
I
Erso?
do. Jyn Erso.
I don't
No, you
like
don't.
the. I don't like Donnie
I saw the
Yen.
movie a ton.
I don't like Donnie Yen's character. But after watching Andor season 1 and 2 and rewatching Rogue One, I did appreciate Rogue One more afterwards.
Describe Jyn Erso without saying what she did or who her father was. Go.
She's a rebellion. She rebels.
She's a real.
She was she was a reluctant member of the rebellion against her will. Basically.
My point exactly.
Do you think there will be another Jurassic Park after this?
For
Yeah.
any good character in
It's
any
doing
movie,
well.
any movie anywhere, you can do that. You can use that as a
We're going
test.
to die without another Jurassic movie. We're going to die with at least 10 more at the minimum.
never
Really.
Yeah,
Fallen
this movie
Kingdom was
did
the last one I'll ever
$350
watch.
million. Jurassic World ain't going, or Jurassic World ain't going nowhere.
My thing
That's
is,
so
I'm
unfortunate.
frustrated because I want a movie. I'm thinking take a Alien Romulus sort of style approach for Jurassic
Ladies and
World.
gentlemen, welcome back
To the movie podcast.
I want a movie of Jurassic World.
I'm
where
your host,
everyone
Terminator
dies.
Juice, and I'm
Everyone.
now loose. Let's get it.
It ain't our fault. I blame the rest of the world. I don't know why y'all keep.
Yeah, yeah.
Stop doing it to us. It did okay here. It's the rest of the world that boosted it up $250 million more. And so I blame y'all.
They need to make. It sucks because there's like they could.
How's it going, everybody?
Try,
My
like
name.
you know, there's scenes where it's like, oh, it's almost like they could creep into horror, and it's like, bro, let's go, let's fucking do a.
Well, they tried that with Fallen Kingdom.
Jurassic World. Yeah, but no, but even that, like, I did enjoy that better, to be honest with you. But for me, it's like, to me, bro, imagine a movie where we literally don't know who dies and who lives. It is so frustrating. Oh, is this where I cry?
Putting this guy on blast.
That was me. That was me in the theater, though. I did cry. That was me in the theater.
You look
But-
exactly the same as you do right now on the podcast. You haven't aged a day in a year. It's been almost a year now.
Putting this man's emotions on blast and everything.
Hey, it was a good moment.
You shouldn't have let him record. You shouldn't have let
For
him
me,
record,
I
bro.
would love a Jurassic World where stop bullshit family stuff. And if you're gonna have these families, kill everybody, bro. Kill the dinosaurs are genuinely vicious, man. And let's do it. Go full in. God damn it.
Anyway, let's get out of here. Thanks you guys for tuning in. And
Cesar says go watch The Acolyte. You enjoy.
Yeah.
so yeah, we'll see you guys. What I gotta get? Hold on, gotta get the YouTube up. All right, we're out of here.
Peace.
Yeah, I'm not watching another Jurassic movie. Fallen Kingdom was the last one I'll ever watch.